Okay. Screen share. Can I do this guy right here? Let's see. This is my thing.
I'm going to turn that recording on before I forget. No problem, Trevor. Just saw your message. Don't forget, you can replay these. We put them on our YouTubies for you. All right, I'm going to put some shameless plugs in for Mega Camp before I bounce off this call today, guys. If you have not snagged your tickets, prices are going to go up, and we are selling really, really fast. We are 500 is our ticket right now. We have 500. We might be able to open that. Yep. So let's go. If you want to get that ticket, it is so worth it. I will tell you this. When you go to, if you are brand new and you've never been to a mega camp or you've never been to a family reunion, I can tell you, if you do it the right way, you're going to come back and produce and produce and produce. It is like lighting a fire under you at these events. Not only that, make sure you order your business cards today. And think about how you want to make connections with other agents in different states to have referral partners. I have made some of the best friends for referral partners at these events from across the world from these events. And they do it by having fun little pop buys. Like, I have had tea bags from some people. I have a glasses cleaner, like the little cloth thing that makes it so all the grease goes away. Pens. I remember these people, and we do refer to them because we made relationships and connections at Mega Camp or Family Reunion or FSO or any of these events that go on. So order your business cards today. Make sure you have a ton to give out. First Night's an 80s party. You heard it first here.
Is that Monday or a Tuesday?
I believe that's a Tuesday.
Okay.
So
nice.
There'll be a little 80s mixer on the website. I put up a couple costume ideas under party time. If you're looking for some inspiration, I am not giving up my costume yet. You'll just have to be there and see it live. I can promise you it is not any version of Madonna from the 80s, though, or Janet Jackson. So little Fresh Prince might fall in them. All right, guys. You have a fabulous crew today for Ignite. You've got Deb Hayes, you've got Roger Ring, and you've got Amy Perry in the house. And today we are talking all about setting goals that matter. Because if you don't have goals, you don't have a map or a GPS of where you're supposed to be. So I see some familiar faces. We don't see a ton of videos on. So if you can take a moment, throw your videos on, let the instructors know you're here. Trevor's going to be a bad student and peace out at 9:30 for a listing presentation, but that's okay.
We'll let him get away with that one.
We'll let him get away with that one. You're going to kill it. You're going to kill it. All right, friends, take it away. Have a great Ignite, and we will see you.
All right, great. Thanks so much. Thanks so much. Brooke, you're the best. I'm trying to change my name here, but I'm Deb Hayes. I can't seem to get it to change on the thing, but that's okay. Try it again. Dynamite. All right, guys. Thank you, Brooke. You're awesome. All right, so welcome to Ignite Spark Session 5. I'm very, very excited to be part of the faculty here. Roger Ring. Is that right? I always thought it was King.
No.
And Amy, what's your last name, Amy? Oh,
Perry.
Perry.
Sorry, I should probably change that.
Yeah, here's your crew. Myself, Roger, Amy. So welcome to Ignite Session 5, setting goals that matter, and they matter. Let me tell you a little bit about the faculty here. My name is Deb Hayes. I'm the productivity coach here at Keller Williams in Westford, 614. I've been in real estate for about 25 plus years. I've been over at Keller Williams for about, I want to say 7. Moved into the productivity coaching division. We had nothing going, and we kind of created it when Keller Williams started moving into that into that vision. And got 46 people in my program at this time, and we're doing really well, rounding about right now at about 16 million in volume. So pretty excited about that. Branding ourselves as Powerhouse Properties. So Roger, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I formerly come from the restaurant business, 16 years doing that, dealing with folks, customers, employees, partners, and things of that nature. Then transitioned about 2005 into the real estate business. I've been doing it ever since. And recently, last year and a half, 2 years ago, about came on, joined Keller Williams and joined the productivity coaching program there. And now currently I'm a launch coach, and Amy Perry is my partner in crime as a newer launch coach. And we are trying to build our launch program up and promote them up into the productivity coaching program with Denise Martin, who's our director of productivity coaching, and just trying to build it up from there.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome. We've taught together before, and I'm glad we can do it again. Amy, let's hear a little bit more about Amy.
Hi, so I'm Amy. I also came from the restaurant business, separately from Roger, but parallel a little bit in the same area. And I came to, and actually right before I came to do real estate, I was in hairdressing, and I left. It's my third year now in real estate, and I recently became a productivity coach. And like Roger said, we're partners in crime in the launch program. So we're working on building that up and getting that going.
Awesome. And just as a reminder, what market center are you in?
868, which is Keller Williams Elite in Plainville, which is down by Foxborough.
Okay, so a little bit south of me. I'm up in Westford, not too far from Lowell and Chelmsford, all that area. So let's get going. Who wants to set some goals and learn a little bit about that, right? Let me do my little screen share here and get it going. Make sure I can figure out what I'm doing. Does everybody see my Ignite skills to spark a great career?
Yes, we do.
Okay, thank you.
So Amy's going to paste in the participants guide there in case anybody hasn't printed that out. There will be a couple of activities coming up, so you just want to have that at the ready.
All right, wonderful, awesome. All right, so let's talk a little bit. Does anybody have any questions they'd like to discuss before we get going on today's material? We want video on and a lot of participation here, guys.
Who's overwhelmed? Who's struggling?
Everybody's
Nobody.
good. We like that. Would anybody have?
Actually,
There you go. Go ahead.
Go ahead. What do you got?
well, I'm brand new. Literally, it's only been a couple of weeks. And for the record, I also came from the restaurant business, and after 40 years, decided to change careers. Although I've been attending these classes all week, and I'm starting to figure it out a little bit. I'm still having a little bit of an issue with my instance where I worked at what basically was a local lunch counter. So it was direct face to face, and I was a general manager, but I was also on the grill all the time. So I know a ton of people, but I only know them on a first name basis. I don't have, and what they told me, actually, I think it was yesterday or the day before, is that I should go set up shop there and get names, but I'm still struggling with that aspect of it.
Well, Arthur, quick question. The restaurant's still open?
It is.
Okay. What do you think it would do for you if you just went down there and sat and made a kind of a habit once a week or so to kind of go sit down there and have a little lunch and just kind of reconnect with people?
And actually, that's what I learned yesterday too, and I plan to do that after these classes are over.
Or why not, right after this class is over today, for lunch.
Well, I have to talk to my coach today, so I'll probably do it tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah. Bring your laptop, put a sticker, Keller Williams sticker on the back of it. People have done that, and just sit there and do some of your work that you might be doing at the house, and just do it there, and just see how many people come over and approach you that, hey, Arthur, how's it going? What's up? What are you doing?
Yeah.
What are you up to? And bam, you're into a script going, funny you should ask, and go
Yeah.
right into a script with, selling real estate with Keller Williams now, 40 years of restaurant business. So I'm just down here having some lunch and, I was missing everybody and thinking about you guys. So I just figured to come down and say hi and then take it from there,
All right, thanks.
How about one more deep and just say, hey, I'm trying to get organized a little bit. Can I grab your cell number and your last name?
That's what I plan to do.
Just say,
And go
I'm
that
in a class and that's my homework. And they'll share it right with you right there probably. So yeah, I like that. I think that's a great idea, Roger.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, getting out of your comfort zone is always a little bit of a challenge, particularly if you're changing, but that's why we're here. We want to always move forward, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, have
Let's-
some data points there too, because people are going to ask what's going on in real
Yeah.
estate. And just have
Yep.
have a little narrative in your head, like a script, of course.
Script, right.
Write it out yourself. So you'd say, geez, in the local town, days on market were 8 days, and people are getting over asking prices by 2%, 3%, 10%, whatever the case may be, and be that area market expert for them. And you don't need a lot of data points. Days on market, average sale price, what's new, what open houses, what, boom, pull your screen right up there. You can
Right.
actually just
Right.
have a hot sheet ready to go. And, this is what's available. There's only 4 houses available in the town.
Yeah, have your MLS open right there for sure. Turn it right around and show people. People will really love that, I bet.
Right. And
Yeah.
then remember to ask questions about them, lead into them, show interest in them, what they've been up to first. It's not all about you sitting there and realize that should almost be secondary to you, and reconnect with them. And that's when that's when you can go in for the email address. If you wouldn't mind, I'll add you to my database and I'll just keep in touch.
Yeah,
And then
That'll
go work.
awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Thank
Who
you.
else? What other opportunities are people having or challenges they're experiencing? Let's give that a little bit more time. What are you excited about?
I sent out some emails, or I tried to. And I got a response. So this was just through command. So from my old office, from when I worked years ago. And the response that I had I only got one response back, and it was, oh, nothing in real estate. Good luck on your ventures. So,
Yay.
but I didn't know how to respond.
Well, what do you think you should do?
Well, I was gonna just write something like, I would love to, keep in touch. In case anything should ever come up, could you please, keep me in mind? But I don't know if that's just too like, yeah, okay, thanks, bye.
Well, what's your
Well-
relationship with the person? Or
I-
what-
So I was an A&D, an architectural representative years ago. So I met, tons of people. I didn't have close relationships with most of them. So it was just kind of more of a, just a casual,
Hey, how do you do?
project. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, when you first started out, you're asking, hey, how are you? And they're going to prompt in, I'm doing good. What have you been up to? I'm just reconnecting from people from my past, from, whatever the relationship is with you there. Give them the reason why you're reaching out. So in other words, if they haven't heard from you for years,
Right.
you might want to give them a little, for instance, I was just going through my Rolodex here and you're a
Well, that's how I
contact from-
worded the email when that I sent out to
Yeah.
people. Was more like, I worked with you. I worked with you in the past I was your A&D rep, whatever. I don't know. I formatted like an email.
Right.
I have since, moved on to real estate. I would love to help you in this capacity, whatever. I don't remember exactly what I said, but something like that.
Mhm.
So now, I mean, and to be perfectly honest with you, that's something I need to work on, the whole command thing, because I don't know how many of those emails actually went through, because I'm sure many of them aren't even there at that
associated with that email address, and they didn't bounce back. So that's something I need to figure out what I'm doing wrong. But anyway, so this one did.
And that's good news. You got one person that responded. That's
I got
good.
one person, but at the same time, like, how do I keep that connection? I guess is what I'm asking. How do I keep that alive?
Do you have their phone number?
I only have their work number. So, and it's not even their direct line. I just have the office number.
Mhm. Well, let's see. Well, obviously, you've gotten a connection, and they were kind enough to respond, and I think that's fantastic. Obviously, you need to follow right back up, because they're nice, and you want to stay in touch with them. And I don't know what you think, Roger, but do we want to perhaps just say, hey, thanks so much for getting back to me, and maybe ask for some additional information, ask how they're doing, get a little bit more personal with them, because your first letter, email was kind of generic. Why don't you follow back up in a little bit more personal manner? What do you guys think? What does everybody else in the group think?
Amy, have you had any experiences like that? I know that
Yeah.
you do a lot.
Yeah, I would, I mean, I would probably just thank them for answering back and keep me in mind and stay in touch. And like Deb put in the chat, the Ford. I don't know if everybody here knows what Ford is.
Yep. I think they cover that earlier in the thing. It's, you ask people about their family, their occupation,
Oh,
their
the Ford.
recreation, and their desires. And when you ask them those questions, they typically respond back and mirror your same questions.
Right.
So
So that's always a good way to keep a conversation flowing. If you
Yep.
can't think of something,
Yeah.
just grab one of those. Or there's also Frog too, I believe.
Yeah, family, recreation, occupation, and goals.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
yeah,
I went on Facebook to see if she had any family or anything, and I couldn't find her. So I don't mean to be like stalking people, but I wanted to say, hey, if I remember, you had, whatever, how are they doing? But I couldn't verify. I was just trying to find some kind of connection before I sent an email that was, kind of another generic email.
well, make your follow-up a little more personal.
Yeah, follow up and ask them what their plans are for the summer. Oh, thanks so much for responding. I really appreciate it. I'm really excited about my new career here, and I hope everything's going well with you. What are your plans for this summer? Try to bait them into the conversation.
How about, why don't we grab a coffee sometime? I'd like to hear a little bit more how your life is going. Remember, our calls should be turning into appointments, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
How about something like, this is Rebecca. How about something like, how would it be okay if I got, or maybe not that the right wording, but ask them to give you your phone number so you can text them every once in a while to just check in and see how they're doing.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you use text, it's not so invading as a phone call, maybe.
Mhm.
I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great thing. Yeah. And think about it this way. I mean, everybody feels you're saying that anxiety, that, apprehension. It's probably 80% of the people on this phone call right now are feeling the same way. Oh my God, what would I say? What do I say? And sometimes it's just say something and just avoid that thinking, send it and say it and be done with it. And if they don't respond, so be it.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes you're just going to get that. You're going to hear crickets, and that's okay.
That's okay.
And sometimes it takes reaching out multiple times to get a response. Don't let that stop you either, because I have people who I reach out and I look and it's like the 7th message I sent them or the 7th time I call them, or, and then they finally respond. So don't let that discourage you either. Keep reaching out.
How about one more thing? What do we have for a tool that might allow Nina to, or, what can she leverage a little bit to stay in touch with this person? Any thoughts on that?
Get them on a smart plan, maybe.
That's what I was thinking, Sheena.
Yeah.
We've got a wonderful system here that allows Nina to follow up automatically in 30 days or 15 days or whatever she'd like to do, and put her on a every once a month thing and offer some value. And perhaps that might be good exercise for you, Nina, to get a smart plan going that's pretty gentle, that feels like you, and have a little follow-up. Hey, just checking back in, you know, there's a bunch of them in there. Go in and let's find one that'll help you stay in touch, because you just never know. And one of them should be, hey, can I grab your cell? You know,
Yeah.
and you'll be surprised what kind of responses you get. So yeah, if we're going to have goals, we have to have some things to get to our goals, right?
Yeah.
Right. So that's what we're going to focus. Anybody else have anything they really would like to mastermind on?
I would love to add something in there.
Okay.
And just thoughts. I'm a new guy, obviously. I'm just spitballing. Where it's someone, I think she said it was someone from her work that she got in contact with the email, to get their phone number. And I've noticed it's just from, you know, reaching out to old friends and stuff. You know, basically, you know, approach them like you already have their number. Hey, you know, I had your number. I sent you a text and it didn't go through. Did you get a new number? You know, then they already are like, oh, he's in my circle. Okay, here's my number. No, I didn't get a number. It's this. I was like, oh, you know what's funny? I had the last digit wrong, but I swear we used to text. Anyways, I'm going to send you. And I would say, if you wanted to, like, you know, something to talk about, say, hey, I'm good. Would you be interested in, can I text you? Would you be interested in this thing going on and wherever you live? Maybe there's like seafood festival, like, or even like if you, you know, own your own home or whatever, just say, hey, like I'm having a whatever Avon party. Come on over. You know, I'm trying to get some of the folks from work over to have a wine mixer or something like that, and then get them all over there, get them talking. And then also I would say something about, if you haven't talked to them in a while, like just the COVID thing, like, oh my God, did you stay at wherever it was during COVID? How did it go? Did they cut like the, you know, if you know someone that was like kind of didn't do much, did they cut the productivity manager who just walked around all day? Did they, you know, that's kind of why I went into real estate. You know, the market was so good then. And then get them, you know, be like, oh yeah, how was the market? Were you in it during COVID or something? Because I find the second I start talking about COVID with people, they're like, oh yeah, the real estate market. And then once they talk about the market, you can kind of see what they're thinking of. Just from experience, I haven't done much. So
That's awesome, Tony. I love that idea. Hey, I don't know what's going on. I don't have your number. Maybe I have the wrong digit. Can you shoot it over? And yeah, we're going to milk this COVID for a while. That's a great talking point that we can use. And how did you do? And how is your family? And how is your work? The minute you start talking about work, they're going to ask you about your work. And that's that now you're open. And we all know that they want to know three things. How's the market? What's the interest rate? And what do you think is going to happen? And by the way, Tony, you're not new. You've been here a week. You're not new anymore, right? That's the rule, right? Yep. So so that's all good. Good feedback for everybody. And this is what we love about Ignite. Everybody really brings lots of different ideas to the table, and we all succeed as a group for sure. So hope that's helpful for you, Nina. Keep us posted and tell us when you get that lady's house listed. No. All right. So
it was in Massachusetts.
All right. That's okay. Where are you from?
I'm from Bedford, Mass.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mass is good. All right. So today we're going to focus on how to cultivate your leads into seller opportunities. Is that right? No.
No, goal setting.
Goal setting. Today
Number 5, Spark 5.
Spark 5, goal setting. Cool. So we're going to talk what successful agents do every day. You've seen this, you've heard this, and we will repeat it every day. So the secret of being a successful real estate agent is really no secret. Success leaves clues, so we know exactly what successful agents do every day. Each activity on the slide, if it's not obvious, why is it important to their business? Like, why is lead generating for buyers and sellers important? Thoughts?
It's how you get to people without knowing exactly. You might not know them, but it's a referral from somebody else. So you can get people from other people.
And we use the word, thank you, Linda. We use the word lead generate. I don't love that word. I really wish they would call it nurturing, relationship building, because that's really what it is. We're going to make also in our business, we're going to make listing presentations and get listings. We're going to create buyer presentations and get buyers. We're going to preview real estate. And I'm a big believer in that. The more properties you go into, the better you will be as a real estate agent. During COVID, it was a little tricky to get into property, but it's time to kick very much back into gear on that and make sure you know every single property in your town, what it looks like, what it smells like, you know, the neighbors, all of that. You want to run your business, market listings, show buyers, negotiate contracts, so on and so forth. So the goal of our time here is to model what successful agents do every day and really show you how to do it. So the main focus today is really on lead generating for buyers and sellers. Number 6, we're going to set goals. And then obviously you want to attend training, which you are, and get coaching. I am assuming all of you are in some sort of a coaching program. Can we get a little show of hands on that? Everybody good? Coaching? Yeah. It's very, very important to make sure that you have somebody absolutely helping you move forward. And this is what Ignite is all about. So every day, lead generate. Just for being here today, you're getting training and coaching. So again, good job on that. We're going to set some goals for your business. So let's move on a little bit to envisioning your big life. Does everybody have their participant guide? Or, okay, make sure you have something to write on, all that good stuff, because we're going to set meaningful goals. You're going to do some self-searching here and figure out really what your goals are. And at some point, we're going to complete a 411 with steps to move you toward that goal. Today, it's going to be fun. We're going to be going, we're going to cover setting goals, which is part of running your business. You have to ask the big question. Where do you want to go? What is your motivation? And lastly, but not, how do you get there? You know, today's learning module is called setting goals, set goals that matter. What makes a goal matter? Who can speak to that?
Why is it important to have a goal? So you don't have a goal.
Trevor's got his hand up.
Well, without a goal, you don't know what you're aiming for.
Right.
Tell us a little bit more about that.
Well, I guess if you're just doing, you know, the day to day and you don't actually have a goal, you don't even know what your purpose is to get there. So you need to come up with that and decide what you're going to do now and how you're going to do it so that you can actually achieve that goal and then move to the next level.
Right. Absolutely. And anybody else have any thoughts? What makes a goal matter?
I actually want to ask Trevor to repeat what he said. He's right. What you said right away. You said, I said, what makes a goal matter? And you said, without a goal,
well, you'll never hit the target.
Right.
You get that?
Okay. My whole problem is that I'll jump to a problem. Sorry, I don't mean to be negative, but I've never been a goal setter my entire life. I'm very live by the seat of my pants. I like that kind of craziness, unfortunately, but I struggle with it, and I need to, you know, kind of get in that mindset, and I have never been able to succeed to do that. So hopefully today I'll do better. Thank you.
Yeah, we'll be working on some tactical items to get you set up with some very specific goals. And don't worry, Rebecca, there'll be a lot of crazy in real estate. Don't worry, you'll still have plenty of that going on, right? How about football or hockey, Stanley Cup, you know? How do you know if you've won if there's no goal, if there's no score, right? Even in football, right? Halftime comes, you have to adjust the other team, right?
In some situations, though, goals are made for you. Like we have, which is great because I'm a little bit like her. I have a hard time making goals because I'm afraid I'm going to fail. So I don't set those goals. But I mean, just the fact that we passed our real estate exam, I mean, those goals were kind of made for us, because if you didn't pass it, you wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm. And you said, you know, if I don't make my goal, what does it make, how would that make you feel if you didn't make your goal? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I mean, it's hard when you're already, if you, or I, in my situation, I already have, like, I don't have the best self-esteem. So it kind of just like even brings it down a notch, like even just like a rejection from, you know, when you're making cold calls or whatever is kind of, it's like, oh, and it's, so not having those goals, it's kind of like, oh, well, it's okay, whatever, you know.
That comes with time, right, Roger? You do, you just have to, because real estate is, it's, you know, it can be a little bit tricky, but you can't, you always want to make sure you focus on the positive, because you're not making cold calls, you're calling people that you know, that's not cold. So let's make sure, yes, if you call in people you don't know, that's another story. In this segment here, in this part of Ignite especially, you're calling and you're connecting with people that you know. So part of sometimes that feeling is because it's almost a little bit like you don't know what to say, and then you're afraid you didn't do it right. But most of the time people don't really know that you don't know what you're saying, and then we always fall back to scripts. So we'll get you there, don't worry, we're going to get you there. Sheena, you have your go ahead, Roger.
Well, that brings a great point of, you know, what you mentioned earlier about coaching and accountability. I mean, if you're the type of person that struggles setting goals, and you're not alone, a lot of people struggle with that. I mean, I struggle with setting goals. And for the perfect example you used is, well, if I set a goal, now there's an expectation of myself. I get to achieve that. Well, that's accountability in it of itself.
Mm-hmm.
And then having somebody else outside who's not connected to that goal, that's your goal. We don't set it for you. You set it for yourself.
Yes, these are your goals.
And we just
right.
help you hold yourself accountable, as you were doing right there. You were being vulnerable, you're being honest, right?
Mm-hmm.
And in the coaching program, the more honest you are, the more questions you have for us, the more we're going to be able to help you move forward. And that's the goal. Right. It's not so much to achieve that specific goal, it's to move you towards that goal, and you'll get there. And you might have to adjust that goal at times. You know, you might have to, hey, it's not realistic. That's not my reality. I might have to lower it to raise it, if that makes any sense. You know, if it's too high, I'm not going to get there. In my mind, my psychology is not going to allow me, because I've convinced myself I can't. So let's bring it down to something that you can achieve. And then you buy into it and you say, yeah, I can do that. And we'd say, I agree. Now let's stretch that just a little bit to make it just beyond your comfort zone, to make you a little uncomfortable.
Right. It's okay if you don't make it, you know, but likely, and Roger and Amy and those, if there's other coaches on the program in the class, people will maybe not make it, but they always made it farther than they thought. And that's really what happens. And I've seen that, I've seen that over and over, where people make there's different kinds of goals, and we are going to do an exercise on goals. And again, like Roger said, it's going to be your goals. And then probably what you'll want to do is meet with your productivity coach, your TL, or somebody in your office, and fine tune it a little bit better, because your goals should be 4 things. And we all know this, right? You might want to write this down. They're SMART goals. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So if you is that right? 1? Yeah.
5.
Did I get it? 5.
5.
So we want them to be specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based, so that you're really making pretty realistic goals, you know. So we'll work on that. And this is part of coming into real estate and coming out of your comfort zone and thinking out of the box. And you raised your hand and said, I want to do it. So we're going to help you do it, and you'll be fine. It'll be good.
You've already accomplished one. You've gotten your license. That's not an easy task. Probably about 50% of people fail their first time out. So.
Yep. Oh, there goes Trevor. What'd you have? Home inspection, something, CMA?
Oh, he's got CMA, I think, or market analysis.
Okay,
think
we're
I'm
gonna
gonna
work on
list it.
time blocking with Trevor. No, right? Okay, so who's heard of the book, The One Thing? Anybody? The One Thing book,
By Gary Keller.
Gary Keller. The One Thing is a book by Gary Keller and Jay Papasan about how to
Yes.
structure your life and achieve goals. Linda, is that you? Do you have The One Thing? Maybe not.
I haven't
Okay.
finished
It's-
reading it, but I've started it.
It's a nice little reference book. It's, it's a sit on the beach kind of a book. It's talks about a few, how to structure your life and achieve your goals. And the thing is, it's the anti-multitasking. There's many people, many coaches in this world that think the word multitasking should be stricken from the English language. Multitasking is doing a million things, not at a very high level. The One Thing book talks about getting this one thing done that then it's done. I don't know where we started, where we have to do 50 million things at once. So who wants to read the quote? Go for it. Participation.
Who we are and where we want to go determine what we do and what we accomplish.
Absolutely. Think about this quote. Why is that so important? Who we are and where we want to go determine what we do and what we accomplish.
Our goals have to be personalized, because if not, we won't be motivated to do them or achieve them. They have to come from within, and we have to know where we want to go there. So it has to be individualized.
I agree. Any other thoughts?
I think a little bit of what we do every day determines who we are and what we end up accomplishing.
Yep, Roger's shaking his head.
Yep.
Time on task over time.
Yep.
And, we've talked a lot about this throughout Ignite, about being organized and doing things in a timely manner. So it's important to set goals, because the opposite of this quote is also true. What you do and what you accomplish determines who you are and where you go. If your activities don't have a guiding goal, you're likely to be very busy and not have a lot to show of it. I don't know if you guys are in the market center now, or if you're still working remotely, or if you think back to another profession. I'm sure you had a lot of people running around doing things but not accomplishing much. And that's because they didn't have direction. And the mission of Keller Williams is the old story: to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experience worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. None of those things just happen. So what we're trying to do, and we're getting into it deeply here, is to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing to, make it really make sense. Any additional thoughts on that? All right, so part of achieving goals is working hard, and I think we can agree on that. If you don't put in the time and effort, you won't go very far. So let's look at this graph. What else is important to setting goals and meeting goals? So here we've got our graph here. We've got thinking, time, and effort.
Follow
Big
through.
outcome. Pardon me?
Follow through.
Yeah.
It's great to set a goal, but if you don't work at it and take the steps to achieve the goal, you'll never accomplish it unless there's pure luck.
All right, let's look at the chart a little bit. And that's a good point, Jim. Yeah, good. Luck is great. Luck is awesome, but skill is much better. For those of you who are any kind of a sports or bowl, whatever it is, everybody gets lucky, but you still have to have skill. So here's our chart. We've got thinking. We've got big actions. We've got time and effort here in thinking. We've got little action, little thinking, little actions bring small outcomes. If you think big actions, you get big outcomes. So think, act, and achieve. So what is this saying? Can anybody, what do we want to think about here? You know, like, what else is important here? Scale is important right here. Thinking. We have to really think deep, and we really want to think big. So if you don't get big outcomes from thinking small. And that is one thing about Keller Williams, and I'm sure you guys all see it in your market center. There's agents that like have, 300 listings a year, they do a lot, and that's because they think big. And we really want to talk about thinking big here. We're talking about setting goals and thinking big on how to reach those. You have to ask, where are you going? How do you do it? Who are you doing it with? If you're not thinking big, you might limit yourself a little bit. We never want to limit ourselves at all, right? So here's your box. What, how, and who, right? So let's talk about a big life, okay? Let's move into that piece a little bit more, Many new agents limit themselves right away. Maybe you don't call your spare, you just hope business will come to you. Maybe you aren't systematic about lead generating. Maybe people refuse to learn scripts. That would make their job so much easier. In people that, agents that don't do all that they're supposed to be doing have a little tendency to run out of steam. They burn out because they're not seeing good return on their time and effort. Is everybody committed here to learning scripts? Does everybody love scripts?
I do.
I commit.
Mets and
Love
Mets?
is a little bit
scripts.
too far to go. I think you know the scripts and then you make it for your personality.
Correct. What's the number one script we all hear probably every day of the week? Not all of us, but a lot of us. The script
How's
you
the
hear.
market?
Nope.
No.
You guys are scripted at every day. You just don't know it. How about, welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. What can I get for you this morning? Oh, I'll have a medium hazelnut milk only. You want the sausage egg McMuffin thing? What, that's a script. That script is put in place so that people behind the counter move things forward. And that's what scripts do for us. They help us move the conversation forward. Otherwise, we get a little stuck in our own head. And what's the other reason for really understanding scripts? What is the main thing that happens when you know your words?
Gain confidence.
Absolutely. Gain confidence. Thank you.
You'll always have something to say.
Always have something to say. What else?
I've heard it said that they overcome obstacles or.
Yep.
Rejections. Yep.
Overcome obstacles, rejections.
And shows you have knowledge of what you're presenting to them.
Right, Rebecca, shows you have knowledge. Another thing that happens with knowing your words, and this is very important in real estate, and you'll learn more about this as we go through all of the different segments. Scripts, when you know what to say, it helps you listen at a higher level. That doesn't always work at Dunkin' Donuts. You say what you want, you get there, and it's not right. But technically, the scripts that have been written to help you get to your goals do help the conversations move forward. So we're going to challenge you at all times to make sure you are learning your scripts, that you're finding someone in your market center, someone here that you can start doing script practice every day. Because I'm telling you, once you're in real estate, and you guys that have, some of you have been around, it doesn't take you very long before every single place you go, people want to talk about real estate. Real estate is a very comfortable topic for people. You can talk to a 9-year-old about real estate. They know what it is. Their little friend moved and they know what open house, they know it. So it's a very, very, very important topic right now for people in this environment, particularly after COVID and this market that we're in and job loss and all of that. So be very, very aware that people want to talk to you about real estate. So that's my soapbox on scripts. So let's talk a little bit about envisioning. We're going to do a little exercise here. Okay. We're going to talk about doing an activity that will help you envision a big life. Once you have that vision in place, then you can set meaningful goals that will bring you closer to that life. Once you have a goal, you can talk about it and how you're going to reach them. It all begins with your vision, really. So everybody, on page 3 of your participant guide, and we want to do a little exercise here. Whoops. So even if you don't have your participant guide, just take a piece of paper and write a circle in the middle and write some kind of income that you would like to do. And then have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 boxes around it. Now, this particular person, I don't know who this is. They were looking to donate money to, this is their world. They want to donate money to the, Habitat for Pets. They want apparently to get their 2 kids through school. Mom and dad want to pay off the mortgage. So you take your circle and say the 5 things that you want to focus. A person, a cause that you care about. Do you want to pay off your car? Do you want to pay off your house? Do you want to have enough money to get, what is your vision? Each of these 5 rectangles, put a person or a cause that you care about.
Can I ask you a quick question? Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
Can these be like long-term goals, or they just have to be for the year?
I would say long-term goals. What do you think, Raj?
Yeah, so long-term goals, and then, when it comes down to your annual goals, so we're going to talk about the 411 later on.
Yeah.
So an annual goal is the 1-year goal. You might have a 5-year goal, and then you'd break it down into the annual goal. So now you can understand. So let's say $500,000 was your number in 5 years.
Yeah.
And then your annual goal would make sense that it would be annually, I got to make $100,000 a year to get there in 5 years. That's part of your plan. But for our purposes here, this would be based on a yearly annual goal. So if you want to make $500,000 a year to buy a house, well, in 5 years, I need to make 100. So it would be home fund, $100,000.
Right. You've got sending your kids to school, maybe taking care of your parents, go on a vacation. Maybe you want to go to Italy, and that's going to cost, I don't know how much. I've never been. $5,000. I don't know.
And you can have
10,000.
more. You can have more boxes around there. 5 is just the sample. You could have less. Maybe you got one big fat goal. You just want to make a certain amount of money, and that's it. That's okay.
Right. So figure out roughly how much things cost. If you want to go to Italy, it's this much. If you want to pay, for your kids' school, it's your world. We're not making goals for you. We want to make sure that you're focused on the things that you care about, and that's what we're going to focus on. So in the center, you have to add all these babies up, right? And that's how much you have to make. You add them all up, and that's where you need to be.
So, and this is a goal setting exercise. So I forget who it was earlier who said she struggled setting goals. This is how you do it. You just come up with those 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, doesn't matter. 3 things on the outside perimeter there. And then you add them up. Then you've got a number in there, and that's to live that life, big. Or it might be somebody's goals might be just to pay their bills. Well, that's a start.
Yeah.
And then you can get to that middle number and say, all right, it came up to 364,000. All right, well, that's going to pay my bills and get me status quo. Well, challenge yourself, add 20% to that number, and then shoot for that.
Maybe you want a little money in your savings bank. You can do several of these page sheets. You can do one that's very business oriented. You could do one that's very home oriented. Maybe you simply just want to get your garden under control. You do you, right? And that's what we want to do this, but we really want you to set some stretch. Okay. It's okay to stretch, because when you stretch, if you don't make it, you bounce back, you're okay. Nobody's, it's your life. The rectangle, these things all represent your big life, and the circle in the middle is really your goal. So do that little exercise for a minute. Let us know when you have it's pretty much filled out, and don't be afraid. This is just your day here. It's Thursday. We're relaxed. Let's just make sure you get that filled out, and and then let's hear a couple of ahas on this thinking process. We're all about selling houses and nurturing and blah, 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 but we really want to take care of you as individual people. Okay. And just like the old thing on the airplane, you've got to put your oxygen on first before everybody else. So this is your time, guys. So let me know when you're looking good. Raise your hand if you have any comments, and I'd like to have a couple of ahas from this.
I'd like to say one thing, that when
Yes.
you put the numbers in, remember to have a savings account to pay your taxes.
Absolutely. And that's on day one of Ignite, isn't it? Run down and get yourself a separate bank account for your business, or have they touched on that yet? Will your coach? Yeah. Good point. We've all been.
That'll also come up at the end of one of the last sessions, the financial.
Yeah, oh, right, it's in financials, but yeah, that when you get hired as a productivity coach, we typically say, you've got a couple of things we want you to do right now. Let's do some goals, and then drive to the bank and set up a separate bank account and start working out of that, and keep a very close eye on your expenses. People think they don't have any expenses, but they do. All right, so how's everybody doing with their goals? We good? Let's have some ahas. Anybody want to share?
You can type it in the
I'll-
chat.
I'll share. It's
Yeah.
For year one, it's a smaller number than I thought it would be. So obviously, I'm not thinking big enough.
Right.
Great point. Yeah.
Thank you, David.
You're probably missing some things in there, right?
Well, taxes.
He's focused on taxes. We need more things though on your goals there,
Well,
right?
What about your IRA funding, saving for retirement,
Hey, at 77 years old, I'm already retired. This
All
is
right, so you're
this is
active
another
retirement.
profession.
Right. Well, at least he knows he's got to pay got to pay taxes. So we've got some numbers in there. That's cool.
Yep.
We have a lot of
Elizabeth
active-
just commented in the chat, her 5 boxes consist of paying off debt, donating, buying a home, buying a new car, and a vacation.
Nice.
And then what are the numbers associated with all those things?
Yep.
It all added up to 305,000.
Nice.
All right.
There you go.
Nice.
Okay.
Now, that is awesome. So that's going to be, when we do our exercise, we're going to be plugging some numbers in for you. And that's going to really give you a lot of clarity. Anybody else want to give a thought on the share here?
Lourdes raised her
Lourdes,
hand.
what you got?
I got 299,000.
Wow, everybody's running about 300. There you go.
Yeah. Paying the loan of the car.
Yeah.
And how much I until now I spent to get to the real estate, because I'm new, but I already spent a lot.
Uh-oh. Okay.
Sounds like a spending problem there. We can work on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about red light, green light. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I hope I can learn from this class how to get leads, because that's my concern. I don't get too much sleep. Just thinking about that.
Well, we're going to do an exercise at the end of the class that you're going to get some lead. You're going to make some calls for sure. Right?
Thank you. Yes.
One more. Anybody else? And we'll move on to the next piece. I trust everybody has their goals and they've stretched them a little bit. They're smart, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based, but we'll get into that with the 411 a little bit. So, all right, understanding your goal. How about this one? Where does the money go? How's that all about? The first thing you need to understand is how your commissions work. Is everybody clear on how commissions work? We're going to give a quick overview on that. Do you still have a question, Lourdes?
Well, I still have about the commission, since you mentioned if you can explain. Yes.
Yeah, so we're going to talk a little bit. The first thing you need to understand is how your commissions work. Many new agents get their check for their first closing, pocket it all, and it's exciting, and David knows what we're getting at, and they get in trouble down the line. Let's talk about where the money goes and how much will actually be going to your goal. Okay, these numbers are very general. They're meant to only be an example. Actual amounts will vary, especially actually if you're on a team. Okay, first, so I'm just trying to think here. Yeah, all right, so first, if you're on the seller side of the transaction, half of the commission, can you see my little dollar sign here? Half of the commission goes to the buyer agent. The same is true if you're a buyer agent, right? So commission comes in right away, boom, half of it goes to the other company, not the other agent, the other company. Everybody's clear, you're either working with sellers or buyers, right? Okay, once you have your half, about a third of it goes to your market center to cover your company dollar franchise fees, right? Everybody has their capping, it's 30, whatever it is, and it goes towards your cap, right? So that's something everybody has to remember. And actually, this is a very good tool when you're working with a seller and they think you're making $1 million every day. You can use this exercise to explain how the commissions work. So after you pay the market center, roughly another third goes back into your business. This covers marketing, operating expenses, signs, your car, your phone, anything else you need to conduct your business. Then finally, you get your share. Guess what? Who else are we forgetting?
My Uncle Sam.
IRS.
IRS.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Sorry. Is there any way to share all that stuff that you just said? Do you have it on a sheet, or were you just kind of reciting it from memory?
I have it on a little bit of a sheet here, but it's kind of the thing. I don't know. Do we have this somewhere, Roger? Is it in the thingy? Is it in the book?
I mean, this whole conversation's being recorded, number one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Number two, if you want, you can take a picture of it right there. So
Wait,
50%
of what?
Of the screen?
Of the screen. And
What's
just
the screen?
write some notes.
No, there's nothing
Oh.
on the screen.
Don't you have
Nobody
the
shared-
dollar sign on the screen?
No, I don't think you shared it.
I'm seeing her screen.
I see it too.
You
Rebecca?
do?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
What are you seeing?
Are you watching?
I
on a
just see
cell phone?
people. I just see people. Oh, I see the dollar sign. Okay.
Just
There we
You might have to change your
minim-
view.
minimize that screen there to get the photos.
Okay.
Slide the photos around.
Ah, you can't miss out on the big
Can
dollar
everyone else
sign.
see the screen? Can everyone else see the screen? If you can't, just write in the chat.
So yeah, so basically 1/2 goes to the other office. And then a third goes to your market center, your company dollar, right? And then another third, which as a new agent, I don't know if it's a third. What do you think, Roger, for expenses?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I mean, you
It's a
could
little
say,
excessive,
like anything, the more money you make, the more expenses you're going to have. But
right?
just as a rule of thumb, they're using that third or 30% would be probably a little more accurate.
Yeah.
And again, remember, it's including your car, which you're already paying for anyways, your phone, which
Yeah.
you're already paying for anyways. So those are
Right.
taxable or write-offs that you're going to
Yeah.
be able moving forward. So
That
yeah,
is
you could probably use the number of $5,000 for somebody who's only going to do maybe 5 or 6 sales in the first year.
Yeah. Yeah, and when we do, when we get into command and set our goals there, there's a little pocket for that. We'll talk a little bit about expenses, and then we'll talk about cost of sales, which is a difference. And, but again, let's just remember, basically, you don't get as much as everybody thinks, and you still have to pay your taxes, and you have to put it away religiously. That's why you need that other bank account, and you want to run all your business because you do have expenses. Yes, in the beginning, you want to try to lead as lean as possible. Don't be buying Zillow. Don't be buying all kinds of things.
Don't
You've
sign
got
up
your-
for subscriptions and
Don't
stuff.
sign up for things. The most highest return on your investment right now in the beginning of your business is yourself and your cell phone and your email and your voice. So you will get a tremendous amount of more business. I know that's not the right way to say it, but you will get a lot more business by speaking to people that you know than those that you don't. Like Arthur's going to be hanging out down at the restaurant, working for an hour every day, working, doing his business and doing his stuff. And then he's going to be chatting with people rather than him sitting at, some other building, so this is something that a lot of people, and it's a frustration. People don't want to, for some reason, talk to the people they know. They'd rather run around and talk to people that they don't know. So in the beginning of Ignite, we want you to really embrace that piece. These are your friends. They know you, they love you, they care about you, and they're going to want to help you with your business. If your friend called you up and said, hey, I'm opening a coffee shop, or I'm opening a new flower shop, you're going to be all right. And you're going to drive around later. And if you're at someone's party, you're going to say, hey, you should get flowers at my friend. She just opened. That's what you want to be doing. People will want to help you. So let's just make sure, as we set our goals and we do our lead generating and our nurturing, that we're doing, we're talking to the right people. And that helps you get to your goal. So let's get into this next piece. Right, where are we? All right.
Really quick, Deb, Darwin
Yeah.
was asking for any app recommendations to keep track of all your write-offs. I had mentioned RE Profit. I don't know if you've heard of that one, Matt Miali gave that. And Anthony said that he said, hold on, I'm about to mention something. I didn't know if you wanted to take a minute to say that.
We'll take a minute. First of all, there's a great app called Mileage IQ. Keeps track of your mileage. I love that one. It's yellow. The other thing, the MREA book has a profit and loss that you can use. And I would check with your team leader or your productivity coach or your market center admin. Somebody has that. And keep track of everything you spend. I don't know of an app, but maybe Tony's going to bring something to the table.
Okay. All right. All you guys. And it's kind of a shameless plug too. I'm going to make them work for it. So I have an awesome video that will tell you how to make a perfect spreadsheet. You got to watch this video. I made the spreadsheet. I could track all my stuff. I don't have to save receipts. If I go to the gas station, everything, I just put it in. It's the most simple thing I found. And it goes to a spreadsheet and you have like a graph and everything. So maybe message me on Facebook. I put my link. I'll put my link again so you can, try to get some referral business and stuff like that going on. Also for the bank, I looked into, another Zoom going. I looked into, how to amplify my savings. And there's high interest savings banks, as I'm sure people know. I personally use Ally Bank. It's an online bank, super useful. They have super good customer service. And they allow you to do, I think, what do they call it? No, they call it folders. So I would set up a folder, real estate income, real estate tax, 15% folder or whatever, or a third of what I take home folder. And you get, I think right now the interest rate on that is 0.68 or something, where most banks are like, what is it, like 0.05, which is nice. I usually get like $15 in interest every month.
Wow.
Which is something. Yeah. And you know what? It's been down a lot because of the Fed, but usually they were the big call to join. They were like at 2.25 interest rate. So people are like, what the hell? That's a high interest for a savings. So just a thought, reach out to me on Facebook. I'll put my link on there again.
Right.
I'd love to connect with you guys. And all right, that's my soapbox moment over.
All right, cool. But yeah, the point is get organized, keep track of your expenses. Even if you do the old, I don't know about apps, ask around in your market center, talk to your top producers, talk to newer agents, see what everybody's using. This is part of being in this nice company that we're in. Everybody's always helpful in sharing what they know. I've never seen it. I've been in real estate a long time. One more thing, Tony got a brainstorm.
Oh, no.
I thought you had one more. There.
Sorry about that.
All right, no worries. So let's talk about, let's really look at some numbers here. So we have some examples provided here in the slide. So, we're going to do a little calculation here, guys, and we're going to talk about, some real hard numbers here. So again, I can't really edit this at all, and you guys need to learn as to what your average gross commission is. This one is coming in at a 300,000. I don't know what your median price is on your market center. Different parts of the state and different states have different price points. So this one is, the exercise here is 300,000 is your average sale price. And the average gross commission coming into your market center would be 9,000. That is a 3% co-broke. I don't know what your area is doing for co-brokes, but that's what we're doing. So our objective in this activity is to get real about tying your business to your goals. We're going to figure out, based on how much money you'll receive from a transaction, how many transactions you'll need for the year to meet your goal. So on the participant guide page, what is it?
Page 5.
Page 5, you might want to grab that and look at that. So we're going to get real here. So first, we're going to estimate the average price. So let's use this example of 300. Average that comes into the office is $9,000. Okay. Is everybody on their guide?
Your participants guide, page 5, is a worksheet.
I know it'd be nice if we could have one up here to like click through, you know? Like,
Got it.
What's the next page?
oh, right. All right. So now that's so what you have to do is take, how do we do this? Let me just get here. So we've got our average price, our commission. Now we're going to figure out our cap. What is your cap in your royalty? This example is 27 and 3. So you have to make $30,000 more on this example to get where you want to go. Anybody have any questions on that piece?
So just to give you the understanding, so that 27,000 is they're taking the 300,000. I mean, I'm sorry. They're taking your 30%, which is our market center fee,
Right,
and our 6%, which is the royalty fee, which is the next one down.
right. So I think royalty fee is 3 all across the board, correct? Do you think that, Roger?
Right.
Yeah, it's 3% for royalty for KWI all the way.
Yeah.
And then it's, generally speaking, from my understanding, it's 30% with every market center, and the cap numbers go up and down.
Yeah,
So-
depending on your market center.
Your
Some are
cap.
25, some are 50 down in Boston, you
Yep.
know? So it really depends on where you're at. So we're going to make those calculations. Now we're going to move to the next piece. So what you guys want to do, this is an exercise, you know,
I have a
later
question.
today. Yes, go ahead.
What page is this on?
This is on page 5.
That should be, it should be blank,
Yeah, your page is blank.
Okay.
because you're
Right.
going to be putting your numbers in. This is just using an example. Of
Okay.
300,000, and then theirs is, theirs is 30,000 for their cap.
Right. So what we want you to do is do this exercise with us so you understand the concept. And then when you have a moment, make an appointment with your coach and say, I want to go over and make sure I have my numbers correctly. Basically, we're just trying to figure out how many deals you need a year to make what you want to make. Okay. So let's see your net. All right, let's go to all right. Now let's start here, your transaction goals. Any questions?
I do have a question. I'm sorry to disrupt, but
Yeah,
I
no.
can't find the student I'm here. I see the links. There's student resources. I'm assuming that's where the participation guide would be, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then my 2 options are KWNE_ full student workbook or the Ignite script book. So I'm going
It's
to the
in the workbook.
Student
Yeah.
work.
Okay. And then I'm looking at the table of contents. And I'm going to which topic is
The
it?
contents, you want to get to,
We're in Spark 5.
we're in Spark 5, so scroll down till you get to Sparks 5. You'll see 4 and then,
Okay, so there's one for each. Okay, got
yeah,
it.
so
Okay, I'll
each
keep
one.
going.
And do yourself a favor later, print this whole package out for yourself.
Definitely. Thank you.
So
Sorry,
you're down to
guys.
Sparks 5, and then you're on page 5,
5,
right?
right?
Yeah,
In the participants guide.
you got it?
Got it. Thank you very much.
Perfect,
Sorry,
perfect.
everyone else, that
So
was-
let's just look at this. So everybody, many people say, I want to make 100,000 a year. right? Let's work at this calculation. So if we want to have a net goal of 100,000, we have to remember, we have to pay our cap and our royalty of 30 based on the, based on the exercise here. And then they have business expenses of 50,000. Again, I feel like that's a bit heavy. So they're saying on this exercise that this person, this agent, needs to make $180,000 divided by 9,000 per commission, divided by however, in other words, they have to get 20 closings per year to make 180 to net 100,000. How does that feel to people?
Who's confused?
We can go back.
Yeah, if you could explain, it will be.
We'll go
easy.
back. We'll do it one more time. And then what we'll do, we'll in a little bit, we'll take a little break. So I'm going right back to the beginning. Average sale price is 300. Average commission on 300 is about 9,000. That's what you walk in the door and hand to your MCA, right? Now, we're also calculating your expenses of your company dollar that you have to pay and your royalty fee, which roughly comes up to about 30,000. So here's the bottom line. If you want to make $100,000, remember your expenses 30 in your 30%, and you're going to cap at that. Business expenses are calculating 50, which Roger and I have decided is too high. So for the exercise here, they're saying you need to make $180,000 divided by 9,000 per commission, meaning you need to have 20 closings per month. And then there's another
Year,
exercise.
right? That's a
I'm
year.
sorry, absolutely, a year. Yeah, let's do 20 a month. I like it.
I'm packing it in. See you later.
No, we got it. So 20 a month, let's break that. I'm sorry, 20 a year divided by 12, hello. That's 1.6, which we don't do. So let's say you need 2 closings per month. On average, at 300,000, you may sell a house for 500. You may sell a house for 8. You may sell something for 150. I don't know.
I have a question.
Go ahead, Nina.
How are you getting so the price of the house was how much?
300,000.
And they got a commission of $9,000?
That's
To the
that's
office.
GCI, gross commission income.
Yep,
Oh,
if
to
the
the
house, pardon me?
To the office, that was.
Yes,
Yep.
correct. Back
Okay.
up here, this guy here, you
Yeah,
get 9,000. Half of it went to the, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
So-
I got it.
So 300,000, 9,000 is 3% of the sale price. So we're implying that this is a 6% commission. So you walk in after your closing, you hand 3,000 to your MCA, and then you get to this calculation. So if you want to make 100,000 net, you have to close 20 properties a year, which roughly is 1.6 a month. So let's round her up to 2 closings per month, which really is actually not a bad plan. Any thoughts on that? Everybody confused still?
Yeah.
What are we confused still on?
So how much commission are they making on this 300,000 without being concerned about the business expenses or any of that?
On the 9,000?
So if you minus 36%, which would be 30% to the market center fee,
4,400, right?
and 6% would be go to your royalty.
Yeah. So if you're getting 9,000, if the office is getting 9,000,
yeah,
you're getting let me do this. You subtract 30% because that goes to the market center, and you subtract 6% because that goes to franchise fee. You get the balance based on a $300,000 3% co-broke.
Which would be $5,760,
Correct.
not including any error and omissions or any coaching fees or any other fees you have to pay to the
Right,
office.
that's your expenses. This is just your general math.
Oh, but
This doesn't include taxes, right?
No,
Correct. Nope.
go ahead. Somebody else had a comment.
This doesn't include taxes, right?
Correct.
So this is a market center that's getting only 30%.
Well, all
Yes.
market centers, generally speaking, are charging the 30%. It's the cap number that goes up and down. So once you cap, then you get 100% of your commission. And do you understand what the capping is?
Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, I just know that my commission check was a lot less, but
Are you paying?
Well, did you
coach-
get 3%?
what's that? No, we got 2.5%.
So you'd have
So
to
that
do
makes,
2.5.
that changes the numbers.
No, but nonetheless, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Thank you.
No, but do you have coaching fee?
Yep.
That's
You have
that's
to
the
subtract
difference.
that.
You've got a referral fee that you're paying for coaching.
Right.
So, that you calculate that in. Most offices have a different, I don't know, every market center is different of how long you pay your coach. So you guys will figure that out. But yeah, so yes, when you're in coaching for that period of time, that number needs to be a little bit higher, but hopefully you're getting help and getting it better. Everybody pretty good on that? Okay. It's a little complicated. It's weird to figure it out, but don't worry, you'll get there. All right, now let's check on everybody's timeline. Would you guys like to take a break? Because then we're going to set some goals in your camp in the command. You guys ready for a little coffee break? Little water break?
For
Yes.
10 minutes.
Yeah. So before we break, anybody have any last, now we're leaving you in the days of confusion, but that's okay. We'll get there. So what we're going to do when we come back in, we're going to go into command and we're going to set some goals, and you guys will be setting your own goals. So why don't we just take a break and come back? What do you think? About 10 minutes? Is that enough for everybody?
Yeah, I just have a question, a little bit related to that. For example, when you're new, how you know what fees you charge, Now I have a coach, right? But after that, I'm done with that. How do you know what fees you charge? I don't know.
For as a listing agent, how much you're going to charge for your fee?
Yeah, when I get for the first time a customer, should be every time the same fee. How do I know what fee should I be?
I would defer that question to your productivity coach or your TL, because most offices have certainly a minimum that you get, and you want it depends on your market center what they're going to require.
Well, I have been noticed each person has a different fee, so so they feel comfortable to get people. So that's where always my curiosity to know what should I do.
So,
I would set up. Go ahead, Roger.
So Deb, let everybody's gone on break. So everybody should be back about 25.
Oh, okay. No, okay, so
we'll come back at 10:25 and we'll pick that up, and then we'll start doing some goals.
I'll stay
All right,
here
sounds
to
good.
help answer this question. And if anybody else wants to hang out, I'll hang out with them and answer questions. But
All right,
well,
cool.
go ahead and restate your question, and I'll help you with it.
Yeah.
okay.
How do you say? Oh, you're on mute now. How do you say your name?
Oh, I thought you want to go to the break.
No, I'm going to stay. I'll help you with the question. I just wanted to let everybody get away, go to the bathroom,
Oh.
get a snack or what have you. So your question, if I'm understanding it correctly, is what do I charge for a listing fee, or what do I charge to be a buyer's agent?
Yes. How do I charge? I don't want to. Some
Okay.
people charge 2.5, some people 3, but yeah, a lot of people goes to the maximum, the 6. So
Yep.
I don't know.
So
wanna-
remembering the maximum, you can charge any fee you want. It's your business. Having said that, most market centers have some sort of guidance or guidelines that they want you to stay within a certain perimeter. On the high side, is 6%. On the lower side is 4% total fee. And then that fee comes in to the market center. And then we divide that between us and the other agent, whoever we're dealing with, the buyer's side or the seller's side. The listing agent controls that fee being charged. So the listing agent sets that fee in MLS. And then in MLS, when you look at MLS, you go down to the bottom, it's kind of on the right side of a listing. It'll say, compensation, and it'll tell you right there what that agent is paying for that listing. And it can vary from, I've seen it as low as 2 and up to 3.
So if they don't pay what I needed, so what
So
do
the
you do?
listing agent is going to post a fee there. And if it says 2.5%, for example, that's what you're going to be getting to bring your buyer.
But still, I am gonna have my fees to pay to my, my market center, right?
Okay, so now that's called GCI, which is gross commission income. So we're going to use a round number to make it simple. We're going to use $400,000 is the sale price of the property. Your listing fee, or the listing fee, is going to be 5%. That's what the listing agent's charging. They're going to collect that $20,000 of GCI into their office. Okay. Then on MLS, you're bringing a buyer, and they're putting out on MLS that they're paying that buyer's agent 2.5%, which is half of the 5%, as compensation. So if you're bringing the buyer, yours is going to be half of that 20,000, which is 10,000, is going to be your GCI coming into your market center. From that GCI, that $10,000, the market center is going to take their 30%, $3,000. And then the other is the royalty of 6%. That's going to be $600. So it's $3,600 going to come right off the top of that GCI. So if you just put that into your calculator, you'd come up with 36 minus 10 is 64.
Yeah, around there.
It's amazing we can't do math. Oh, 10,000. 1, 2, 3 minus 3,600. Okay, so that'd be $6,400 would be the money that would come over to you. Now, if you have a coaching commission in there, just say for argument's sake, it's 10%, that'd be another $640 coming off of that, which would lower it down. And then you've got errors and omission. Ours is $49 per transaction. So you'd minus that $49, and so on if there's any other fees. That would be the number that you get. That's your check coming in. That's going to be cut to you. And
I'm
then
gonna pay attention, because I'm in the beginning, so I didn't know they have that under the listing. So I'm gonna pay attention to look.
Yeah. So if you want, go ahead and look. And while you're there, look at the town that you're working in, look at the average sale price in that town. And that's going to be your number that you use, because we don't have any numbers for you guys because you're brand new. Just use the average sale price of that town, and then use your best judgment to estimate, well, I'm going to be probably around that average, or maybe I'm going to be a little lower or a little higher, because depending on the people you're talking to, the average sale price of the house. So we're using 400. The class used 300 as their average sale price, and they were using 3% as their average commission. So to answer your question, that average commission is whatever you want if you're the listing agent, but use your team leader, your coach, or your OP, or any agent in the office that's got experience to ask them. Just ask, and then it's up to you. Some guys ask for 2.5. Some people ask for 3.
Yeah, I just wanna, because if you go too high, you don't gonna get too many people,
Right.
especially when at the beginning.
Right.
I'm not busy. I need to get busy.
Right. So just use the number. If you want, use 5 or 6. So if it's 5, then you're giving half out to the buyer's side, and you're keeping half for the listing side. But you'll see people putting things out there at 2%. You know, some guys charge 5, they keep 3% for the listing and give 2% out to the buyer's agent. It's all between, you know, that agreement between the listing agent and the seller.
Okay, now I understand a little bit better. Thank you.
You're welcome. Do you have any other thoughts or questions I can help you with? Or, I mean, this can be confusing because a lot of people get intimidated by numbers, and it's
Yeah.
really dollars in, dollars out, you know?
Yeah, you're right.
Revenue coming in, expenses going out, and we want to be more revenue than expenses. But in the beginning,
Right.
we're actually spending money and we're not making any dollars, and that can be very nerve-wracking.
Yeah, that's what makes me not sleep a lot at night. But
Right.
hopefully that will change soon. But now that I know they're gonna mention about to get leads, so I'll wait for the class.
Yep. Well, you've already hit that class when you think about it. Your database was day 1 or 2, right? Build your database. Then your contact and communicate with that database is lead generation, prospecting. You want to be calling your friends and family, your colleagues at work, anybody that you know, a phone number that you know or met or knows and met you that you'd be comfortable calling. You want to call them and just say, hey, you know, this is so, you know, depending on the relationship, you're not going to say, you know, my name's Roger. So I'm not going to say, hey, I'm not going to call my mom and say, hey, mom, this is Roger Ring from Keller Williams. I'm going to go, hey, mom, what's going on today? You know, I'm going to use that forward conversation, which is friends and family, recreation, occupation, and dreams. And that's just small talk. We're just trying to create small talk with somebody, just like I'm doing with you. I'm asking information about who you are, where you're from, where do you live, what's going on with the kids, how are they doing, and those types of questions, because we're just creating a little relationship here. I'm developing rapport with you, right? And I'm going slow. If I talk too fast, you might feel like, oh, who's this slick bugger? You know, depending on the person I'm talking to, I'll elevate my speech. You know, I'll speed up or slow down. If I'm trying to explain something complicated, I might go slow. I might check in. Does that make sense to you? You know, to make sure I am communicating. And I might ask, can you repeat back now what your understanding is on how to charge a commission, what commission you should charge, to make sure I communicated.
Yeah, that's right.
So that's the lead generation component. So building your database, getting a bunch of names in there. You know, we like to see, you know, anywhere between 200 and 300 from a newer agent. And that's always growing because we're always adding names. When we meet people at open houses, when we meet people in the street, so to speak, we meet people at the coffee shop, we meet friends, you know, or make new acquaintances at parties and events and gatherings that we go to. We're always trying to collect their information so we can keep in touch. And we're asking them, do you mind if I keep in touch? No? Great. Just need your email and your phone number if you wouldn't mind. Boom, write it down, go home, put them in my database, put a couple notes in that database on who they are, how I know them, how I met them, so that when I do call them, I've got some, you know, information to kind of talk and make small talk out of. Some people mention that they'll check into people on Facebook and find out what's going on in their life through Facebook, just so that they can say, hey, I saw you on Facebook. That was a great post earlier. You know, the kids looked like they were having fun. Was that a family vacation? Boom. Now I'm off into a conversation.
Yeah,
Does that make
you're
sense?
right. Yeah, I just don't feel comfortable yet. That's why I need to get comfortable, you know? Yeah.
Sure. And the scripting helps that, but the simplest script in the world is, let me ask you this. If you were to call one of your friends, not your best friend in the world, but a friend, an acquaintance, somebody that you know and you'd be comfortable talking to, what would you say to them if you called them right now? And we can do a quick little role play if you'd like.
A long time I don't talk to you.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah. It's nice to hear
See
from you.
you.
What's going on?
Yeah. How have you been? Yeah.
How have I been? I've been good. Been crazy. You know, this crazy COVID stuff's going on. It's nutty.
Yeah. That's what I will do.
Yeah. We'll keep going. What are you here for? You're here to reconnect with me, right?
I used to work on the same place.
Oh, yeah, I am. Yep. It's nutty. What have you been up to?
Change job.
Oh, really? What's that?
I quit the other job so I could focus on my new job, real estate agent.
Oh, real estate agent? Where are you selling real estate?
To sell or buy houses.
Yeah. What town are you working in?
Well, East Providence where I'm looking for now, but any area doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Well, how
As long as it's Rhode Island.
right. Well, how can you help me with real estate?
If you tell me what are you looking for,
Yeah.
to
Well,
sell
or
or
you,
buy
right.
or
So
rent.
let's flip the script. And if you take control of this conversation and just ask me how long I've been living in my house, what's
Oh.
new in the neighborhood? Yeah. Was that your dream home when you moved in? And I'm going, no, it wasn't my dream home. Oh, have you ever thought about buying a new home and selling your home? Well, what road am I down now? I'm trying to discover if there's a need there or a desire there to buy a house or sell their house. So that's the lead generation conversation you're trying to have with your friends and family and your sphere of influence, which are people that you know and have met for the most part, and know and have met you at least once. Does that help you?
Yeah.
Okay. So your coach would challenge you to say, all right, how many of those phone calls do you think you could make this week to your sphere of influence in friends and family? And just ask them that simple question, who do you know who might be thinking about buying or selling a house or investing in real estate? I just opened.
Actually, I don't have a coach. It's a mentor, but I don't know if I'm getting the help that I need. She comes when she can. I ask her what I need, but and I'm trying to go to the class as many as I can. But I don't know. I'm not. I don't belong to a team, so I don't know if I should belong to a team in the beginning. I
Well,
don't
that's a
know.
consideration, but they have to invite you in, so to speak. Are you with a Keller Williams office?
Yes.
Do you know who your team leader is?
I don't know.
Okay, so ask around in your office, find out who the team leader is, and set an appointment, or at least get their ear and ask them if they have a coaching program.
Yeah, I think that will be good for me because I'm a little bit shy. Not shy when I know a person, but shy on this, on this job.
Yeah.
Sure. Well, because you're not comfortable yet, you're not confident.
Yeah.
And that's the training. And so keep doing the training, but it's, or get together with another newer agent and do the script practicing and mastermind with them as well, because they're going through the same thing. But look into the coaching for you in your market center.
Yeah. I'll try to do that.
Yep.
Yeah, I agree, Roger. She needs to talk to her TL, whoever, brought her in. Did somebody sponsor you?
No.
Okay, I'd just start with your TL and ask around and say, what do I do?
Yeah. I'm interested in the coaching. What's it all about? Who do I talk to?
Yeah. I
You
need to
look
study
like
soon.
you look like you're learning based. You want to work. You want to learn. You want to get better. So, and that's what coaches like, right? That's what we want. We love motivated people. Sure. All right. Well, welcome back, everybody. Thank you. I hope everybody had a little glass of water and stretched their legs a little bit. So, did you help with that question there, Roger? For her?
Yeah. Her
All right.
question was, she wasn't sure what fee to charge for if she was to take a listing or to charge a buyer's agent. And I explained to her that, compensation can be found in the listing. If you're the buyer's agent, look under compensation, which is in the bottom right corner of most listings. And then obviously, what fee should I charge if I'm taking a listing? And I kind of gave her some parameters, but your market center will dictate that, market center to market center, but
right,
somewhere between, 4% and 6% is the going rate, anywhere in between there. And you can charge whatever you want. It's up to you, but that's about the average.
Just go for 6. No, check
Why
with your
not?
market center and make sure you're doing the right thing. All right, cool. So let's move on. We're still in goals here. We're going to set some goals in command. So let me do my little screen share here and let's see where we're at. Make sure you can see my screen. It's going to say set goals in command. Is that what you guys see?
Yep.
All right, so basically what we're going to do Again, we're going to continue with really understanding your goals and how to put it somewhere where you can see it every day. Is everybody opening Command every day? Are we living in Command? Is that our mothership right now still? Make sure you make that your mothership because
Yes.
there's really a lot in here. So Command has a goal setting and tracking built into the reports applet. These goals are based on the MREA economic model and utilize the contacts and opportunity applets in Command to track. So everybody, what I'm going to do, so if we look at this here, this is what it looks like on your screen. I'm going to log into my own Command. How do I do this? I'm going to do a new screen share. Let's see if I can't figure this out, guys.
So you just have to go off.
Yeah.
We're watching your screen, so you just go out there and play.
Yeah, let me just see here. Why can't, hold on a sec. I want to go into my own Command, don't I, and do this exercise? Hold
Yep.
on.
Yeah, if you can't get there, you might have to come off share so you can see your whole screen.
All right. Let me do a little stop screen share for a minute. We'll do another one and we'll just do this exercise again. And I want you guys to, you know, see where you landed. What do you see, guys? You see welcome home, Deborah?
Yep.
Yeah. All right.
Yep,
So
you're right.
what we're going to do, we're going to kind of go through this little exercise here to set some goals. Okay. This is my home screen here and, you know, the old home screen. And so just as a quick note, if you hit the little red button on the top, it does tell you what everything is. So we're going to go down to reports. Do you see where I'm at? Contacts, tasks, blah, 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 reports. It's going to take me into my reports. If I click it, might help. And let's see where we land. Sometimes it gets a little squirrely when you go from one thing to the next.
It's a little slow when you get Zoom open too as well.
Yeah, yeah. I tried to close everything down, so we'll see what happens. Okay, so what I'm in here, can you see that it says I'm in dashboard, reports, goals, lead routing, emails? I'm going to click on the third one called goals. Okay. Now this has some goals in here from some exercise I had done before. So we're going to set your goals. Now remember, this is recorded, so you'll be able to go in later and kind of do your own, but let's kind of look and see how this goes. And as you can see up here to the right, you've got 2021 goals. So I'm going to set, there's a button that says called set goals. And that's going to take you to this screen, and then you're going to hit get started. Everybody with me?
Yep.
And now, if you go over to the right, it says setting your goals. You can set your goals for this year, or you can follow year, however you want to do it. So I'm going to mirror, I think, the one we did before. No, let's do a more real one. So let's just say this is 2021 goals. What is your 2021 annual profit goal? Now, you know, it is July, but let's just say we go back to that. We wanted $100,000 income, but we want to factor in our cost of sales, which is our company dollar that we have to pay to the office. So in my office, it's 25 for capping and 3 for royalties. And in this exercise that I do with some of the agents in my program, I put it in as 2,500, which is probably low, but without any expenses, you're going to spend 2,000 between your realtor dues, your MLS dues, your office dues. So you can change that. You might want to put in 5,000. What do you guys think? Oops.
So yeah, for your licensing and stuff like that, anywhere between 1,500 and 2,000, you're going to spend whether you sell anything.
Right. So let me explain expenses and cost of sales. First of all, in this this little goal setting widget, right next to the word expenses, it has a little I, and that's information. So expenses are expenses that you pay every month, every year, whether you sell something or not. That's hardcore expenses. That's fees and MLS dues and your monthly dues and things like that. Cost of sales is what you pay when you sell something, when you actually have a sale. So that is company dollar, any, you know, if you have somebody that you pay that runs around and puts signs up for you, whatever that is, those are called cost of sales. That's because that you sold a home, right? Is everybody clear on that?
Right. That would include photographing a home, things of
Yep.
that nature.
Right.
Fees.
That's the cost of sale. So you might want to just, for the sake of your exercise, put your capping and your royalty fee in there and put expenses of 5,000 just for this exercise. Now, as we scroll down, we've got the balance of your business makeup. Are you going to do 50% listings? You're going to do 50% buyers. Let's have some feedback here. Does anybody have any thoughts on that piece? Listings or buyers? Go on.
I like listings because when the house sells, you get a commission. If you're working with buyers and you have 16 offers in there, you have 1 out of 16 chances of getting a commission.
Yeah.
I myself will take anything I can get because as a new agent, I'm just happy with anything.
Right. Anybody else?
So if you're confused what to put in there, just start with 50-50.
I agree, Roger. I think because you know,
We
you
don't
don't
have
want
a
to
record of your performance, so just use 50-50.
just use 50-50 and why limit yourself? Let's just go for it. Let's get 50% listings and 50% buyers. So, and this is also using that sort of math of 9%, $9,000 for your commission. And then again, you may adjust that based on your medium price home. Does anybody know in their market center what their medium price house? Why don't you throw that in your chat? And Amy, if you could look at that, because I can't see it.
And if you don't know how to get that, just go to your town in MLS and pull up everything that's sold in the last 6 months and go to the bottom of the report and you'll have an average list price and an average sale price.
Right. And then you calculate that by the co-broke fee, not the whole fee.
Right.
And again, if you don't know, ask somebody in your office. That's what leadership is for. They're here to help you. Shouldn't be wandering around. What are you doing? They're here to help you. So let's get this calculation in. I like it. It looks pretty good. Then you hit next. And this kind of goes into something called conversion rates. Has anyone ever heard of conversion rates in the benchmark there?
What's your understanding of a conversion rate?
Correct. Better way of saying it.
If you have none, then it would be none.
Right. So basically, and I think this information, these stats come from national, you know, Keller Williams is extremely data oriented and they're very, very research oriented. And they're basically saying in general, conversion rates for leads, which are people who have shown interest in the services you're offered, but you haven't really engaged with them yet. You know, contacts or leads that you have held a two-way conversation with and have established a value-based relationship with, you know, 5% of those you're probably going to push into a deal. Not push into a deal, develop into a deal. This
Or
thing
convert.
called, pardon me?
Or convert into a transaction.
Convert, thank you. And then it jumps up significantly when you have an appointment. When a scheduled meeting with a prospect client, a listing consultation, face-to-face touch to further your relationship, there's a 75% chance you're going to move them forward into some sort of a real estate transaction. Remember, almost everyone you know in their life is going to buy or sell a house. Very few people simply don't. So really, the more appointments you have, that really escalates your potential business. You know, back to that, I think it was Nina and her friend on her email. What her goal should be with that one person is to say at some point, let's meet and have a coffee. And even if you don't, at some point, without you even trying, you're going to end up talking about real estate, and that's going to help you move your business forward. So, and then of course, once you have something under contract and pending, no, actually you want to move to agreements, and that is about a 75% chance that you're going to result in a sale. And that does fall into that buyer seller category a bit. Listings, it's really high that it's going to sell. Buyers, like David, I think it was Dave said, it's a challenge because there's the inventory level. But guess what? This market isn't going to last forever. So as we move forward, that piece will level off a bit. And then, of course, closed units is really where you want to be. So I think for now, you can adjust these. But I think for this exercise, you should keep them where they are. What do you think, Roger?
So, right. So just to kind of go back to the original question, what is a conversion? And
Yes.
if you think of it,
I don't
follow
think I
this, call it a transaction or a lifeline, so to speak. It starts with a lead. That's somebody who's needs housing. You know, they haven't necessarily said anything. You haven't met them. You haven't talked to them, but you do have their name and contact information, or you're
Yeah.
trying to get that. Now you're taking that lead and trying to convert that into a contact by getting a hold of them. Once you get their phone number, their email, or whatever the case may be, now you're reaching out. It might even be a face-to-face. Now you've had a contact. That's two-way conversation. You've said hello, they've said hello back. And then you're now trying to convert them into, and every transition is a conversion. And that's where we get the conversion rate, because every lead is not going to do something.
Right.
Every contact is not necessarily going to do something. So your conversion rate is a percentage there, and it gets better and better as you move it along the pipeline, so to speak. Then you get to an appointment. Appointment is somebody that you probably has, when you contacted them, showed interest in learning more about buying or selling or investing in real estate, or showed no interest, but you just want to get together with them and just kind of nurture that relationship. That's a good appointment as well, right?
Absolutely.
So now you know that that appointment doesn't necessarily convert into anything other than more of a relationship ongoing. Now we take it, let's say they convert and they do say, you know, I am thinking about investing. I always wanted to get into it. And you have that conversation. Now we're talking about a listing appointment, converting them into a listing appointment and talking and going down that road. Now they may or may not decide to move forward after you educate and inform them. Maybe they don't have enough money to put down, you know, whatever the case may be. But now they're in your pipeline, and you're trying to convert them into more of a contract or an agreement to work together, and so on. And then that'll get you to a contract. And in every gap is converting, and you're just moving them along that process. That's a conversion rate. And that's, you're always going to have fall off. Sometimes people just move out of town.
Yeah.
You know, and you lose touch with them. But if you're doing your job, you're following them through that process and keeping in touch with them, keeping connected to them one way or the other. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think the more people you are, it's a bit of a numbers game. The more people you're connected with in many, many different manners. And certainly now the world is opening up and you will be back out with people. You're more likely to have more leads and more connections with people. We're back to bowling and church and, you know, the gym and wherever you are. And
What
that's,
groups are you associated with?
Yeah.
Who are you hanging out with? You know, are you at the soccer field looking around and getting to know the other moms and dads at the soccer field, or whatever your sphere of influence puts you in front of?
now is the time to kick into gear. So you coming into the business right now is actually not a bad idea, because you can really go right back into it and say, hey, guess what? I'm really excited. I've got my real estate license. I'm working at Keller Williams. I love it. And let's go for it. Who do you know that I can help? I promise I won't bug you. And, you know, simple scripts like that can be extremely effective. So, so conversion is something we, you know, you just have to keep an eye on, and knowing these things will help you if you have certain things that aren't working and you're seeing it's not where it needs to be, then you circle around and you ask somebody for help. If you're not doing well at getting appointments, then what aren't you doing right? Maybe somebody can help you with a little different strategy, or you're having appointments for listings and you may not get them. Maybe you need like some script practicing, or maybe, so there's always plenty of tools to help you get where you want to go. All right, so let's go to the next screen and see where we land. Any questions on this piece here?
No, we did have a couple people chime in as you were doing that their average price was 1.1 million, 600,000, 400,000, 953. So they're in pretty good markets.
Right.
David had a question. I did answer. I don't know if you want to go over it or not. I know we're kind of running a little behind. He just asked, what percentage are you seeing as down payments? And my response to him was that it was a great question. It all depends on the loan program your clients are using.
Yeah.
Well, that's something we could get into later because it's kind of off topic, but I didn't want to not answer it.
Yeah, that's really when you're working with, when you get into buyers and sellers and those details, that can be a real mastermind that you can have. Certainly ask around your market center. If you've got $1 million sales, you've got different deposits potentially, and there's some different nuances and different price points. So I would circle around with those agents in your office and see what you can come up with some knowledge on that piece. So anyway, so that's you've got some good medium price houses out there. So depending on your cost of sale in your company dollar, you'll calculate that math yourself. So let's save and continue on this piece and see where we land. Okay, review your goals. You can always go back. So what's next? So basically this is saying to get 100 and see, mine came in at 128. So I calculated a little bit funny. They always take what you want to make and they always add on your expenses. So that's where I'm going to land. So let's see what it looks like on the home screen and see, really how it looks. So we're going to view my goals. I hope it doesn't take me back. Let me see. And then we'll get kind of back to the program so we can just look at this a little bit. So basically this is going to multiply. Why isn't it calculating? Oh, here we go. Okay. Now remember, guys, this is a year, right? So as you can see here, this is saying we have to connect with 22,000 leads, 1,100 contacts. We have to have 56 appointments and end up with 18 closed units. That's a bit much for the next three.
Go back to leads because you might lose people there. So 22,000 leads, remember, every lead isn't going to turn into a contact.
Right.
So you just want to find 22,000 leads over the course of a year.
Right.
You do it. And only a certain amount of them you're going to actually be able to get in contact.
Exactly. So let me go over here a little bit where it says this year. Let's chunk this down a little bit and make it not look so painful. Let's look at this month. And again, we're halfway through the month, but if you really look at this, if you were to just kind of chunk this down for July, August, September, October, yes, you want to make sure you have a lot of leads. Why is there no contacts? I don't know. You want to have appointments set. You want to have 9 appointments per month. What is that in a week, right? 9 divided by, I need a calculator for that. Hello. So that's 2.25 appointments, right? Agreements, you need 1 a week almost. You need 1, when you really chunk it down, you don't need, when you look at things in a year, it really looks a little overwhelming, but when you really look at it, you only need a couple of appointments a week, right? And that's what we want you to look at, your big goal, and that's where you want to be. But really, what does it look like on a day-to-day, monthly basis? And that's where you kind of move into the, I'm going to stop screen share, start looking at your 411. So we're going over a lot of numbers, and it's a little bit numbers vary through market centers. So find out your numbers and do your own goals, and let's make sure that they make sense to you. Is that any questions?
So the big takeaway there is you can do that in command.
Yeah.
You can play with those numbers and move them around.
And when you're on,
what numbers are.
yes, get your numbers in there the way you like it. Talk to your coach. I see Linda's on here and Dee Dee in my group. Let's sit down and get your goals really set in stone. And then what happens is you look at them every day. They're right there on your homepage. So you're going to go, ooh, where am I supposed to be? And it's not meant to make you nervous. It's just meant to keep you on top of your game. And then really what you should do is look at it at the end of the quarter and then look and see what your next quarter is going to look like, just like in football, right? All right, so let's do a little screen share again and see where we're at and get kind of back into the program. Hold on, I got to go to my thing. So yeah, you'll get there. Don't worry. It's something that everybody gets a little bit squirrely about, but this is a business. It's your real estate business, and we want you to get where you want to be. And only you know where you want to be. And again, we want to always have a little bit of stretch. So now we want to do some activities here, do the right activities. The point of our conversation today really is not to be discouraging. It's to equip you with really how to succeed. No matter how big your goal, you can achieve it in real estate, right? As long as you focus your time and efforts on the right business activities. And this is kind of the next cool piece. And for those of you in the restaurant business, this might what do you call, resonate with you. Has anybody ever heard of the 80-20 principle? Show of hands, anybody heard of this 80-20 principle?
Has anybody heard that 80% of the real estate is sold by 20% of the agents?
Which equals to what, Roger?
100?
No. So 80% of the agent, no. So 20% of the agents are making 80% of the money.
Right.
And the reason they're doing that is because they're working on the more important things. So just as an overview, if those of you who haven't heard this, in 1940, this quality control manager, Dr. Joseph Juran, documented a life-changing universal principle that he called the vital few and trivial many. The idea was that a relatively small percentage of your efforts lead to the vast majority of your results. He attributed some of his findings to statistical works of the Italian economist Vilfredo Pareto, who had observed that 80% of the wealth of his country was owned by 20% of the population. As fate would have it, that broadly embraced principle came to be known not as Juran's law, but as Pareto's principle. These days, we simply call it the 80-20 rule. Does anybody see that in their world? And I said about the restaurant field, anybody want to speak to that a little bit?
I think it's probably pretty general anywhere in business.
Everywhere.
In sales.
Everywhere. Yep. Sales, restaurants, there's usually one or two servers that are hustling, right? And several that aren't. Or you just see it in sport. You just see it everywhere because it's just sort of a natural thing. All right. Has anybody heard of something called big rocks? Has anybody heard of that word and that little philosophy?
Is that a reference to like a Jennifer Lopez song back in like 2005? I think it was.
I don't know.
I don't know. Can you
Anyone remember that?
how much for it?
Sing a little bit. Let's hear it.
On the block.
So what it is this is somebody else invented this thing too. It's called, if your day is a jar, you want to put your big rocks in first. And your big rocks are the most important 20% things that are the most, that give you 80% of your results. And we'll talk specifically about what those are. So you put all your big rocks in first. And then the things that aren't quite as important, but are kind of important, is sand. You put that in. And then you end up putting, you know, littler sand. And, you know, before you know it, your little rocks tend to be, the little sandy stuff is all of the nuisance stuff that really don't matter in the big scheme of things. So what happens is those big rocks are more important than the little rocks. So in our world, all little rocks and sand are those nuisance emails and Facebook notifications and all of that stuff. So top producers don't spend all day long looking at their email and their Facebook. They literally have those things turned off. So that's what we want to get driven into the class today. If you're going to have goals, you have to make sure that you're working on the big rocks. So let's have a little discussion on what would you consider to be your big rocks.
Can I just jump in and say one thing that I heard in regards to that thing is that another way to think about it is if you take your jar and you fill it with all the little rocks and the sand stuff,
right?
You cannot put the big rocks in. So that's another way to look at it, that, oh, it's just 5 minutes here, 5 minutes there. It's not, it all adds up. And then your day's over and your big rocks are not in your jar.
That is a much clearer way to say it. And that's exactly right. If you visualize that, the big rock. So what are people's big rocks? Let's talk about big rocks. Who wants to chime in on that?
Or throw it in the chat.
Let's have some big rocks.
So the question is it was asked earlier, is what do I do to get leads and things like that? You know, everybody always wants to know, where do I find my leads? Where do I get these contacts? Who do I put in my database? If you were thinking.
So I was,
sorry. Your sphere of influence, everyone you know, and nurturing those relationships. That would be a big rock.
Right. And what do we call that when we're talking to all those folks? Begins with an L.
Lead gen. Yeah.
There you go. Yeah.
Yep.
Sometimes the simplest answer is the answer. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. That is
lead gen, Linda.
Go ahead. Who else? Somebody else had a comment. Lead gen, prospecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
And Taryn is right. You want to always focus on people you know in your sphere first. The other people, you'll never get your big rocks in if you're talking to, you know, that. So what else would be a big rock?
So what activities could you guys do that would get you in front of people that may be thinking about buying or selling a house?
Local Chamber of Commerce.
Sure.
Rotary.
Yeah. People who influence other people, right?
Right. Business, you know, just business organizations.
What do we do every Sunday, or every realtor? should
Open
do
houses.
Sunday? There you go. Yep. Think of those lines. What else?
You could call for sale by owners or expired listings.
Yep.
Yeah.
What else?
You can host like a first time or home buyers Zoom or webinar type of thing online.
Seminars, yeah. Who else could we talk to that has a lot of contact with buyers? Mortgage officers, attorneys?
Yeah, I've been actually meeting up with a lot of mortgage brokers, people that do inspections, and just learning from them and connecting and networking.
Right.
Divorce lawyers.
Yep.
All
Great
of the
one.
above.
50% of the homes we sell probably come back on the market when
Yep.
they're sold to a couple.
Right. So do that. No, you know, like every day you want to be doing something as an outreach. And we at Keller Williams and a lot of real estate agent companies call it lead generating. You're nurturing your business, and that has to take precedent over everything. There's working on your business and in your business. On your business is always takes precedence, getting new business. I don't care if you're a real estate agent you're selling tires, you're an attorney, whatever you are, you always need new businesses. You need new sandwiches, you need new business. And that's what you have to work on literally every day. And that's what you want to make sure you have on your calendar. I'd like to challenge everybody with something that everybody gets very uncomfortable with it when I say it. Every morning at 8:30, 9 o'clock, 8:30 or so, check all your emails and then turn it off. And don't check it again until 11.
Yes, set an alarm on your phone and don't do it until your alarm goes off.
And I guarantee, and you do it, and then text me and let me know, you will be shocked at how many emails, new ones you don't get. You're literally just looking at your old stuff. You're looking at the Facebooky thing, you're looking at Old Navy, and you're looking at some email from somebody that you've looked at 50 times. Turn that thing off from 9 a.m., set an alarm for 11 or 12, and you will be shocked at how many new emails you don't get that matter. So I'm going to tell you guys that during your lead generating time, which should be 9 to 11 every morning, promise me you're going to do that, and you will be shocked at how much work you get done. You will literally go, I don't have anything to do, I'm not staring at my email. You will do that. So it's very interesting. Turn your phone over, don't do it. All right, so let's get back to the thing. We've got a little while, and then we're going to do another exercise. You're going to do some calling. So let me go back to my screen share and back over to the old 80-20. So I guess we all understand what 80-20 is. Oops, hold on, I went the wrong way. Now, we're back to this one. Who wants to read this? Here's another way to identify your 20% is to ask this question. Who wants to read this?
I'll read it. What is the one thing you can do right now that would make everything else easier or unnecessary?
Okay. While asking that question is simple, it takes some practice to dig down and find the best answer. Let's work that together a little bit. What is really, after we're done with this class, what is the one thing that you could remember? We're abolishing multitasking. What is the one thing that you've been thinking about that you need to do that would make your life easier, or guess what? You would never have to do it again. In that, let's go internal here and let's write that answer down on your own notes. You know, there's things that are flying around in our heads all the time. Let's find one important thing that you've been meaning to do, you procrastinated, you didn't put the time in. Once that thing is done, guess what? You may not have to do it again. And there's so much value in that, it's not even funny. Anybody want to share one thing they need to do?
Oh, I have mine.
What?
This is an easy one for me, and I think everyone else. I think if I hit the lottery, I think that would change so many things. I wouldn't have to buy another ticket. You know, I would still try to work hard in real estate, but I think I would, you know, have a much different business plan at that point.
So use that analogy right there. So what's the one thing you have to do every morning to hit the lottery?
You're
gonna buy the ticket
crunch
first,
the numbers, try to find the algorithm to crack the.
Well, let's not go that far, but
right, because
one thing is you got to buy the ticket, right? You have to be in the game.
Right. Somebody share another one thing they've got while we're waiting for him to win.
I can.
Come on, share one thing.
I've been procrastinating on putting my leads and contacts into Command. So if I did that with the name, phone number, and email addresses, then tomorrow, let's say, if I did that today, if I really just shut everything off and focused on that, tomorrow I can start to really get serious about my smart plans.
Yes.
And start sending things out.
And
then
get serious about contacting each and every one of them.
Right, absolutely.
Right. And let's go a little deeper. When is that going on your calendar today?
It's going on it's going in my phone right now, and it's going in for 12:05.
Okay, well, make sure you get lunch. But yeah, who else wants to share one thing? And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that was a really good one.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. Making folders what is on your email so don't get lost and you know where to get it.
Okay, organizing your emails. Okay, what else? What are your big rocks? What are your big rock? One thing that's a big rock to do.
For me,
Getting my business cards made. Sorry, keep talking over people.
You're
That's
okay.
okay.
that's okay.
Go ahead,
For
say
me,
that again.
I just want to take the scripts I'm learning from this class, the Ignite class. I kind of want to make my own document. I want to sort of set it up in words that how I'd want.
No, I don't. Unfortunately, I couldn't help you with any of the car stuff. I know we're.
Uh-oh, yeah.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
But
So
yeah,
you're
I'd
gonna
like to make my own
work,
scripts pretty much.
right? And can I give a little coaching advice? Do I have permission to coach you on that one a little?
Of course.
I would love to see and report back tomorrow. I'd like you to record yourself doing your scripts.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
So you can listen to it and nobody likes to listen to their own voice. So kind of, swallow that pill a little bit and get used to it because you'll see some patterns and it'll help you highlight what is working and you'll go, oh my God, that sounded good. Because a lot of people think they don't sound good. So find a script partner in your market center or your friend or your kids or whatever and record it so that you know what you sound like and you will find that you actually sound better than you think you do. And remember, nobody knows what you're supposed to sound like. So let's work on that. One more big.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, let's go for it.
I'm going to, hi Deb.
Hey.
I'm going to actually try, because I have all my contacts set up and I've tagged most of them. I have to finish that, but I'm going to call 5 of them. I put a goal to contact, either call or message 5 people in my sphere a day. So I'm going to do that today. I'm nervous about it.
As a newer agent, when you start now doing that, you will be so much happier at the end. It's very hard to change old habits. So that's the advice for you guys. Just do it. It's fine. The sky is not going to fall. Just pick up the phone and call people. And, younger generation doesn't love getting phone calls. Text them first. Say, hey, Tony, you got a minute? I've got a quick business call. And they'll text you back when they can. Hey, I'm okay. So let's make sure that we do that. So let's really dig down and make sure we're focused. If we're going to meet our goal, whatever yours may be, 20 closings a year, 1 a month, 2 a month, 6 a month, you want to make sure that you're doing these exercises and always be focused on that. When you get up in the morning, write on your mirror your big rocks. And before you leave at the end of the day, know what you're going to do tomorrow so you don't have to spend an hour figuring out what you're doing. And we'll talk about that after. So
just real quick.
Yeah.
I'm sorry if I butcher your name. P. Falashaw.
Yeah.
Put that she's looking for a serious script partner and she put her number in the chat if anyone else is looking to script practice with her.
Right.
Thank you.
And let me give you some tips on script practicing with partners. You set a time early, usually like 8:30, and you just text each other like, hey, Roger, I want you to be a FSBO. And then you say to me, okay, you be a fit. So I call and you go, you don't chat about the weather and what's going on. I call and go, hey, and Roger answers, hello, and go, hey, Roger, this is Deb Hayes over at Keller Williams. I understand your house is for sale by owner. How's that go? Go right into script practice. Don't waste a lot of time chatting. Does that make sense? Raj, do you agree with that philosophy?
I call it go into character.
Go into character.
Stay in character right to the end.
Yeah.
They say goodbye and then hang the phone up. You're done.
Yep. You're good. So let's make sure
call
we
each other back and discuss.
Or you can say hanging up official and then I would say, Raj, that was really good. Or I might say, you know what, you weren't listening to me. It's good to work with somebody that that'll be honest. And that way And you say the same thing. Yeah, no, it was good, but you went too fast, or you were perfect, whatever you say, because better to practice on Roger or Arthur than it is with a FISBO. And once you do a couple, you will gain a huge amount of confidence. And again, scripts help you what? Listen at a higher level. All right, so are we on screen share? Can you guys see my screen, what successful agents do?
Yes.
So again, you're never going to hear the end of this ever.
What
They
was the
leave-
big rock was the original question, right?
Right. So I feel really good about everybody's got their big rock going, and I really hope they take my challenge tomorrow morning. Turn that email off from 9 to 11. You're going to be on Ignite. You're not supposed to be checking your emails. All right. So successful agents do every day. They grow their business. Okay. And we lead generate for buyers every day. Now, this is an exercise that you might want to look into as well. This is called your 411. And we've got all these great things. You can find these 411s also in your participant guide on page 7. And you can do this at your own, sort of time. And basically, it's called the 411. And you can also get it on the toolkit. So basically, this is something I want you guys to do as well. You're going to take that thing that you did before and your goals, and this is basically, it doesn't look like it, but it's basically your calendar. Okay? You're going to pick one of the 5 rectangles from your big life, your business goal, whatever it may be, and you're going to write it in the top, your annual goal. And then in the month, you're going to put July. And then down here is first week, second week, third week, and fourth week. And in your 411 is when you put what you're going to do. Like we're in weeks, what are we in? Week 2 here, kind of, sort of. You're going to write attend Ignite. You're going to do lead generating. Dee Dee's going to call 5 people every day. That should be on her weekly thing. Any questions on this?
Deb, David is asking, where do we find the script books?
Okay, the script books is part of the thing. You might want to throw that in the chat again. It's part of the thing that is called the Complete Student Workbook. And then there's a second package called the Ignite 2.0 script book. It's all part of the in the toolkit.
And I believe they can also find that on KW Command under education or resources. I'm not sure, but there's hundreds of them on there.
Yeah, so there's a digital copy of the 411 on the toolkit. It's in your participant guide, and the script book is part of that, which I believe we put in the chat earlier. So maybe you can throw that in again.
I just reshared it.
Good. All right, so we're going to identify one of these 5 rectangles, and then what would they need to achieve? And remember, we're looking for your big life here. How much do you need to make for, to make you happy, right? That's your annual goal. And then we're going to look back kind of at how much you're going to make per commission. You have to just do all that calculation. Again, it's very difficult to do it with 70 people here or 60. And, but let's make sure you understand how much you have to do every day. Roger, you have any comment on that? I'm kind of struggling with my 411
So
explanation.
to make it simple, let's invert the 411 to 114, right? You can see it right there. Annual goal is the 1-year goal. That's the number 1. Monthly goal is another monthly goal. That's the second number 1. And then the 4-week goal is on the bottom there, going across the bottom. So if we were to take, making it simple, we're just going to use the number 12. So if you were going to close, that's your goal, to close 12 transactions every year. So 12 would be in the top as your annual goal. You drop it down to make your monthly goal. That would mean you'd have to do 1 transaction or 1 closing every month, right? And then you divide that, and then you can come down. What do you have to do to get to that goal what weekly activities do you have to do to get to that goal of 1 closing a month or 12 a year? And then you'd break that down into activities down there in week 1. So the activity would be how many contacts, two-way contacts, do you have to make to get yourself to an appointment, to get yourself to a contract signed, to get yourself to a closing. So you're trying to break that big rock down into small little pebbles down on the bottom.
Right. And remember your conversion rate. The closer you are to an appointment, the more likely you're going to get a deal. Right? Yep. So that's what the big rocks are. For newer agents, that hardcore appointment is the difference between making phone calls and sending emails and Facebook messages. And the appointment is what really gets you. Right. You know?
So when we use this in coaching, this is our weekly little thing. We're looking at this. We've developed your annual goal with you, and we've developed some monthly goals with you. And then we develop and decide what tasks are going to get you there. So if you don't know what a lead is, one of your tasks in week 1 would be understand what a lead is. You know, it might be just get the definition, right? That would get you to understand what a lead is. Then if your big rock is 12 transactions, how many leads do I have to find? Remember, we did the math earlier. It was like 22,000 leads was that example. Well, let's just make it smaller. Let's say it's 12,000 leads. So now I got to figure out a strategy and a plan to come up with that many leads. How many leads do I have to find every week? How many conversations do I have to have every week? And if it, let's use the example of 5 somebody used earlier. So now it's 5 two-way conversations every week. So I put a 5 in week 1. Now week 2 comes along and I only got 3 two-way conversations. Week 2 now becomes 5 for week 2 plus the 2 that I didn't get on week 1. So now I have to make 7 to catch up.
Yeah.
And so on, and it goes through, and that keeps you on track to make sure that you got your 25 calls by the end of the week.
Exactly.
And those are two-way contacts. And that's just using the, lead generation.
Exactly.
And you can have the 411 for personal stuff too.
Yeah. And remember, there are ways to do it more efficiently as well. And we talked about this briefly. You've got other ways of meeting people other than one-on-one. You have networking functions, which we're starting to see those open up. You could talk to 5 people. You could talk to 10 people in one thing. Church, like soccer, your kids, everything that you do, you want to make sure you're always focused on real estate. And you're always looking for that magical thing to be able to say, hey, do you know anybody who's looking to buy or sell or invest? I'd love to help them out. That's a script. That's the first script you need to know. You can and make it your own. Are you looking for anybody who's looking to buy or sell or invest? I'd love to help them. No pressure. Right?
Yep. Another thing you could add there, you could say, I'm going to attend or hold one open house every week for, if I don't have a listing, I'm looking for an open house to do from somebody else who's too busy that they can't do their open house. So One open house might give you 5 or 6 contacts in one session.
Absolutely. So
every week, one open house or 2, whatever the case may be.
Exactly. So the point of this is to get it on your calendar and stick with it, right? Don't lose focus. Remind yourself why you're doing what you're doing, right? Who wants to read this thing? Again, here's the reality. The day-to-day life of a successful agent is extremely repetitive. If you walk around your market center, I guarantee there's people in there on the phone in the morning with the door shut. It's repetitive, and it's what really makes it happen. Their routine produces the results that they need to live the life that they want. Often that's enough to make them love the grind. Once you get into it, you will really, really actually like it. You'll start to honor your systems and your skills, and you'll be so protective of that calendar. You won't be bumping out of things because, I got to go have an appointment. You will be blocking off that time to get those big rocks done. Okay. It's really, really important. Somebody want to read this on the screen from, again, the one thing.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Accountable people, and I'm going to start again. Accountable people achieve results others can only dream of.
Right. What do you guys think of that?
That's very true. And it's kind of even more personal for me because I need accountability, and I love to be held accountable for commitments that I make. And I do know that accountable people achieve results that others, because they're busy dreaming, so they don't really take the actions, or no one's holding them accountable, so they can only dream of the results that people that actually are accountable and take steps make.
Exactly. And this is what happens as real estate agents. There's two things. The great thing is you're your own boss, right? You are now your own boss. The bad thing is you're your own boss. And that can be difficult transaction for people. And it takes a little bit of while to start treating yourself like your own employee. But the goal of this exercise is for you to take absolute ownership of your life and your goals, and what you want to do. We have a little affirmation here. Who does affirmations? Anybody?
Yeah, sure.
I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Every day.
Every day. So we're going to add one. You're going to, if you want to turn to page 8, here's your example, your formula, and your term. We're going to create a little ritual for ourselves. So we're going to think back to our big life and that main thing and the goal that you've set for yourself. You're going to think about one of those people or causes, something that you care deeply about. We're all here to make money, but there's a reason you're making money. Yeah, we all have to pay our bills and so forth, but really, why are you working? It's for something bigger than paying Mass Electric. It's to help your kids do better, to have a better home for yourself, to have, you have whatever it is you care about, and that's why you're here, right? So you want to always go back to that reason, and this is sort of the mushy part of it. What is your thing? So every day you're going to say, as part of your ritual, I am going to, whatever it is, I'm going to make calls to provide for myself to pay off my car. I'm going to make calls to make a better home. I'm going to make calls so I can buy that house that I want. You have to find that affirmation and add it to your life. And a lot of real estate agents and people, very successful people, do a lot of affirmations, and they don't do it alone. And I think that's where you're kind of at this point. So I want everybody to really own where they're at. Do your little ritual. And does anybody want to share an affirmation real quick? And then we're going to move on to recap, and you guys have got another little homework assignment. Anybody want to share their affirmations? Let's be transparent and go for it. Anybody?
I'll share.
Go ahead.
So my wife can quit her job that she doesn't like.
Yep. Oh. Did we get the, I think we lost the affirmation. Oh, I'm not sure who that was. Was it David?
It was David.
Yes, it was me.
All right, so we missed your affirmation. So your wife has had a change, and what is your affirmation?
She works at a job that she hates, and my job is to create a business so she can quit her job.
I like that. And you put it out into the universe. So
Yes.
we'll know it, and we'll wish that for you as well. So every day your big rocks, when you get sidetracked, you're going to be going, I'm going to make this business so I can help my wife. One more affirmation. Anybody?
Well, David's can be the old happy wife, happy life, right?
Yep, that is the thing. That's for sure. All right, so let's do some quick ahas, and then we're going to give you like 15 minutes, and we're going to make some phone calls. So how has your thinking changed, and what idea or mindsets were new to you? We'll buzz through this pretty quick. How has your thinking changed? Any comments?
Deb, I think your comment regarding scripts helping us be better listeners was a big aha moment for me, because I always just thought it was all about what we were talking about, what we were saying.
No way. That's why you need the script, because it's not about you, it's what they're saying.
Right.
Wonderful. Love it. All right. What do you feel differently about? What was meaningful to you today? What do we got?
Focusing on the one thing and not trying to multitask and get everything all over the place, just focusing on the big rocks before the small rocks.
Awesome. I love it. Yeah, taking the time to reflect on what you've learned. How will your behaviors be different? Go ahead.
David said the importance of the phone call.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the big rock, right? Making that phone call.
Yep, yeah. I'm seeing some themes here. How will your behaviors be different going forward? What actions are you going to take today? Let's have 3 of them. Actions.
Well, I know
Come on,
somebody
guys.
said
I know you've got something in there.
Yeah,
Go
I know
ahead.
somebody said they're gonna make 5 phone calls.
That was
Yes.
Dina.
I was just gonna say, I'm gonna be more accountable. I'm gonna set goals each day, slowly just set goals for the day and work on that rather than the end goal that I want.
For example, what would that goal be?
The daily goal, I want to reach out to the 5 people per day. I want to do at least 1 open house per week, at least. So like a Saturday or a Sunday. And then I want to stay relevant on my social media and post at least every other day.
All right.
Wonderful.
And where's that going on your calendar? Did you ever write it down on your calendar? We're picking on Dee Dee here. Yeah.
I'm going to put that on my calendar for right after this call because I'm going to be working today.
You betcha. Who else? Who's going to take action?
David said, turn off the cell phone.
Turn off those emails. All right, last thing. What tools, models, or systems will you definitely use to help you remain accountable? Anybody?
One thing is to do a 411.
Get
That'll
her
help
done.
you be accountable.
And how about one more thing to keep you accountable that you see every day?
I think the command, setting up that goal in command and being reminded every time you log in and add those contacts.
Play around with it, just use it. The more you use it, the better you'll figure your way around. And get your goals in there so that you can see it, you can tweak them, you can change them, you can up them, and let's make sure we get that done. Daily success habits. Okay, we've got this is good old Ignite from forever. You want to get 10 contacts added every day. You want to have 10 conversations every day. I don't care if you stand around Home Depot. You want to. How about handwritten notes? I know people think that's archaic, but I really strongly advise if you have any conversation, and maybe that's the thing for, was it Nina? Send a note to that girl. Thank you so much. Looking forward to helping you out. Something. And then obviously we want to preview homes. I want you guys to know, if I called you right now and said, what's the median price in your neighborhood? You're going to tell me. And because I guarantee as an agent, you'll never go anywhere where people they want to know everything. So you want to be the one that knows things. All right.
Can I say something?
Yep.
This is Rebecca. So I just want to let people know, for those of you who hate writing notes like I do, this is my second go round at, what do you call it? What are we doing? Ignite. And I'm a licensed broker in Oregon as well as here. And I fought tooth and nail. And so my Ignite teacher sat down and she just had me write some stuff in front of her, and that kind of stuff. So I actually did them. And I figured out a way to, I went in a bank and this girl was really nice and friendly, and I got her a $5 gift card to Starbucks and said, thanks for your service. You know, I really enjoyed meeting you today. And I sent it to her, and it was my first buyer's sale.
Yeah.
So it works.
Absolutely.
Just to let you know, it works.
It works, it works, it works. So we've talked a lot about scripts, and now we're going to move into a little bit of an assignment that you guys are going to do independently. So we know all about scripts. It helps you lead generate. It uncovers motivation. It identifies objections, helps you close deal and get that conversion higher. And you speak in terms that customers understand, and it helps build confidence. So what I want you guys to do now, hold on, we're going to do some lead generating. And I'm going to give you an assignment, and we're going to take about 15 minutes. I'm going to leave my screen on, and I'm going to do some calls. Everybody go on mute, and I'm going to tell you who to call today. You're going to call everybody in 15 minutes that you can speak to with the last name that begins with D or O. And you're going to call them, and we're going to have a conversation, and we're just going to say, hey, how's it going? You're going to use your scripts, and you're going to talk about real estate. Is everybody comfortable with this 15-minute flash lead generating thing? People whose last name begins with D or O. Hopefully you have your contacts in your database. You can just open right up the first last name D, call them up. So we'll be back here at 10 of 12, and we'll do a recap, and we'll go from there. Any questions?
Yeah, just a reminder, put yourself on mute.
Put yourself on mute. Okay, camera's on. I'm going to stop my screen share. I promise you, you will be happy. You're going to make some calls today. They're happy to hear from you. You know them. They're in your phone. So I'm going to go on mute. I'm going to keep my video on, and I'm going to make some calls as well. All right, we will see you at about a little before 10 of 12, and I want to hear some good news. Okay, we good?
We back, Deb?
Yeah, I gotta figure out how to put music on like Brooke does.
Oh, you just, you should have told me. I would have popped, well, I couldn't make phone calls, but I think she just plays off her phone and has probably one of those
Oh,
speakers and
things.
just, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All righty. Did you make calls, Roger?
What do you think? I was faking it?
No, I know you weren't. I did.
I was talking to a buddy of mine.
Frustrated agent, $60,000 offer over asking and didn't get it. So hard, brutal.
It'll stop soon enough. I mean, but no, none of us has a crystal ball, and it's
I
gonna,
know.
it might be 6 months from now, 18 months from now. Who knows?
Who knows? Who knows?
Will come because there's only so much dough in the world.
There's only so much dough. Are you going down to Mega Camp, Roger?
I don't yet. I'm gonna try and get down to the one in
Mohegan Sun.
the Mohegan Sun. You going
Yeah,
there?
yeah, that's closer to you, isn't it?
Yeah, that's not far. It's about hour and 15 minutes from here.
Oh, all right, okay. Yeah, we're going, the whole crew. A lot of us are going. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get out of Dodge.
Oh, well, maybe when Amy comes back, we'll coerce her into that.
Let's get you all there.
So Amy used to be a bartender back in the day as well. So,
All right.
and I used to run a restaurant for 16 years. And
Oh.
ironically, it's kind of funny. All her friends used to work for us. They were all like 15, 16 years old.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right, cool. So I see people jumping back on. There's Linda. She made some calls. I can tell by the look on her face. So I just want to wrap this up here. Hope this was helpful today. Goals is a tricky one.
It can be a challenge. It's hard. Some people, very difficult to do, but the simplest thing is you're trying to break it down into doable increments. And
Weekly, what do I got to do?
yep.
Yeah.
And that's where the coaching comes in. I mean, every coaching conversation I have when somebody comes on board, I do the launching and Amy does the launching, and it's the same thing. I'm overwhelmed. I don't know what to do next. And it's like, okay, let's take these things one step at a time.
Let's stop doing some of these things. Yeah.
Right. What are you doing now? What have you already done? And all right. And it really boils down to, all right, get your database, get your phone list,
Get your
get 10
tags.
names that you're going to call. If it's 10, if it's going to be 20, pick those names the night before. And then that's your task on time tomorrow.
After your script. All right, who's got something to report? Who's back? Who made some calls? It's 11:50, time to come back.
I made 2 calls.
Yeah.
One, I got to the answer machine. Thank you very much. But I know the individual, and he's always been good to call me back. The other one answered the phone.
All right.
And so that was good. And we're going to continue the conversation. Not ready to meet yet, but continue the conversation.
That's all right. Good for you. Excellent. Who else has something to report? Dee Dee?
I talked to somebody and I was really nervous because I haven't talked to him since middle school. So it's been about like 8 years.
4 years.
But we both still live in the same town and we have each other on social media. So it wasn't that weird. And it turns out his parents are selling their house. So I was like, oh my God, that's so cool. He's like, yeah, he's like, they are working with somebody, but it was really cool to me that, like we can relate through that. And I like, it was easy for me to talk about real estate because his parents are moving right now and they're looking to leave. So that was really good. And it made me feel a little bit more comfortable about reaching out to people because you don't know what's going on anymore. You don't know what's going on in their life.
Yeah, we need to get going back. We were doing script practicing every morning and it kind of got lost a little bit during the end of school. I forget what happened. We need to get back on. I think part of people's hesitation is they kind of don't know what to say. Good for you, Dee Dee, for making that call and connecting, right? Yeah.
So Deb, a quick little jump on what Dee Dee kind of said and whether she meant it or not is, it was great catching up and it was great kind of knowing what's going on in his life. And that's the whole premise of that relationship generation, lead generation conversation over time is if you know what's going on in people's life, big events are coming up, say back up a month, had you had that conversation with him a month ago, you would have had an opportunity, and that would have been a lead right in front of your face, and say, how do I get in touch? Can I talk to your parents? And I'd love to help them out type of conversation. But that's just, that's a perfect example of what you have to look forward to.
Absolutely.
Keeping
And
track of
now
that.
for Dee Dee, what is your plan? What is your next task to you? I don't want to forget about that guy. You've made your nice connection. What's your follow-up plan?
Well, I had him on a smart plan. So I did message like happy 4th, and I'm going to do the tagging with the last name so I can reach out each month with the last name.
We're doing a lot of DTD2 here at our market center because I also think new people don't know who to call. And if you have a letter, 2 letters this week, that's who you call. So congratulations. I appreciate your efforts and your giving us some great feedback. Who else has had a great call?
I actually have an appointment at 12:30 with my son's aunt to talk to her about moving because I just talked to her. So now we're going to coffee.
Oh my God.
Yay. That's awesome.
It's not a miracle. It's you did it. You had a plan. You made a call. You have a task. Now you have an appointment. What is her conversion going to be now? Because she's speaking to somebody she knows as opposed to willy-nilly calling people from Zillow. So congratulations, Linda. I'm excited to hear about it. And you're
That's how it
representing
works.
614 here. Who else? One more. Couple more. Excited. Who else made some calls?
Did anybody struggle making some calls?
Did anybody go on and check their email?
It's okay to be honest.
I made 3 calls. I left 3 messages, some from other contacts in Portland so that I can be their Massachusetts connection. So.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And on your message, what was your script on your message? Just if you could share, that would be awesome.
Sure. I just said, Priscilla, this is one of them. I'm like, hi, Priscilla, it's Rebecca. I used to work very closely with their team, and they were luxury, and I did all their open houses for them. And they gave me an incredible buyer lead for a $1.4 million house, and we closed it. So, but I said, I'm like, Priscilla, it's Rebecca. I haven't talked to you in so long. I said, I'm just checking in with you to see, to say hi and to let you know that I'm your Massachusetts connection now. I got my license here, and I'd love to sit down or I'd love to chit chat and see what's going on with you and your life and everything. And I can't wait to hear from you.
Awesome. Now, Rebecca, what is your follow-up if she doesn't call you back?
Maybe send her a text.
Okay. And is that on like what I'm saying is you had that call? Did you write a note in command that you chatted with her and then you?
Oh, I'm working right now. I'm doing my other job.
Oh, okay. So
I can't really, I wrote down the names of the people who I called and what I did, left messages and times, and I'm going to put it in command later on today.
Yeah, basically you can set yourself a task. What do you, maybe like in 3 days or 5 days, call her back, right? Raj,
Right.
What do you think, Roger?
Yep, I agree. Or you can, also just follow up with a handwritten note so she's getting something.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I could do that. That's a better one. I like that better.
Just try to reach out, try to connect with you. Sorry, I missed you. Just wanted to let you know I was thinking about you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dynamite.
Sounds good.
All right,
Awesome.
who
Thank you.
else? Who else? Let's have one more and then we'll get you off into business. What do you got, Arthur?
All right, I'll confess. I made 4 calls. 2, one was an answering machine. 2, one was a former salesman I bought from at the restaurant. But the last one, and the reason I'm confessing, it was I called my mother. Now my mother actually works part-time at a senior center, and I'm actually going to see her right after this because she wants my cards from me because she actually has 3 seniors that are working that are thinking about selling their homes.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
That'll be my
Absolutely.
niche market. Go through mom.
You got to use mom, you got to use your kids, you got to use them all, right?
And that's how
And
you work your sphere.
that is your core. Your mother is going to be a core advocate for you, and that's who you want to identify. So that's awesome. I'm so glad that it's okay. You don't have to confess. It's a good call for sure. So
Well,
let's just do,
Keep
go
in
ahead.
mind to reinforce that behavior by sending her a nice handwritten note and maybe a little Dunkin' Donuts card. Say, thanks, Mom, for the leads.
Yeah, absolutely. Always go one or two deep.
Yep.
You know, never end with a message. Always have something as a follow-up. It's not their job to call you back. It's your job to follow back up with them. So where are we here? So you've done your calls and let's get used to, can you see my screen, guys?
Yep.
So, you've got your command. I want you to really start, nurturing that command in your contacts and setting yourself up some tasks. You just say, blink, remind, call, whoever next week. And then every day when you open command, you're going to see these tasks that you've made for yourself. And of course, there's smart plans that give you tasks as well. So let's make sure you get that kind of stuff done. And then, of course, you've got your success list, your to-do, should-do, priority, and task. You want to make sure that you're always, doing the things that you need to be doing to get you where you want to be. We delivered a lot of content today. I forgot to tell you not to call the do not call people, but I think you were calling people in your sphere, so that's okay. I think we may have skipped over a little bit about some contracts, so we'll have to catch up with you on that one. So let's make your success list for tomorrow, and we'll go from there. Take 5 minutes to create a list of tasks that you need to complete related to your Ignite session that you just attended. We've given a lot of information. Let's just pick 4 or 5 things that you're just going to do, or you should do, or it's a priority. Let's get a few things done, but let's start with that absolutely one thing. Okay. And for those of you who've connected to do some script practicing, let's make sure that's done. And does anybody just want to share any kind of a aha or something you'd like to share from the day? Thoughts?
Okay, I'll go again. Today was, because I'm so new, this is the first time it's really starting to make sense to me or starting to connect with me. Today's the first day where I really feel like I'm starting to get it.
Good.
I know everybody says, well, the goals thing, for me, the goal thing makes more sense to me than everything else I've learned so far, as
Yep.
far as kicking myself in the butt.
Well, this is a good way to keep kicking yourself, to keep you on focus. Make sure that you stay on task. It doesn't have to be complicated. Your life is your calendar and your phone for now. And for you, you're going to go to your restaurant, you're going to hang out with your mom, right? You've got a very simple task-oriented things, and those are big rocks for you. In my opinion, I think those are big rocks for Arthur. Anything else, and we'll let you take off and go for the rest of your day.
Well, I'll tell you my personal aha. In the call here, I find that people, I'm trying to get people to network with me and stuff. And usually I'll catch like 2 or 3 people from it. I'm like, wow, aren't these guys trying to build their referral network? So, my aha is, okay, I'm going to think a lot about that referral network, because that's, easy money right there. You say, hey, I got a great agent out there somewhere in Mass, Arthur. He's awesome. This and that. So that's kind of what I'm thinking, because gosh, I'm waiting to connect with all you guys. So
no, we should do.
Especially you folks in Mass and Western Mass, because I'm not driving out to, if I know someone in Mass, I'm not driving out there to.
Right. It probably wouldn't hurt for us as coaches and trainers to have people say their name and their town. That might be sort of
That's
helpful.
where you were from, Anthony. Just curious.
Yeah.
I'm in the Seacoast, New Hampshire, Portsmouth. I kind of
Nice.
work basically this whole southern region. Where I am new, I'm like, okay, if I get a listing in Laconia, I'm buying a tent, I'm going to Laconia, I'm getting a Planet Fitness membership, and I'm showing up to work up there and saying, hey, have real estate will travel. That's kind of my whole thought. But yeah, basically the Seacoast, which is a great market center. So
Yeah, right there with Tim probably. Yeah, so I mean, I think maybe you guys, every day on Ignite, change your name to your name and put your town and your state. Do it. Because this is how you're gonna build your internal relationships within the office. I don't know where you guys are from. You know, we're out of Westford, Mass. So if you have anybody, shoot them this way and we'd be happy to help them out, right? Roger, any last thoughts?
I think you just hit a brilliant idea right there. So go down and hit your participant thing on Zoom and change
Yeah,
your
let's
name
do it right
Roger
now.
Green, Foxborough, or whatever the case may be. That way there, we'll all know where everybody's from.
And do the state too, because you know,
Can you guys see mine? I just changed mine, but I think
Hold on.
it's too many letters. It goes.
Yep, it
No, we
cuts
can
down.
see it.
We can see your name and then it breaks, it cuts a little bit off in the end.
yeah,
but-
but we got you. So yeah, as you go into Ignite every day, let's make sure you update that so it makes sense, so people know where to find you, because I didn't know you were in Seacoast up
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Seacoast, you know?
I spell it wrong?
A
Oh, shit.
little bit, but we know what you mean.
Wait,
All right, guys.
Can I get some help? My name is not, when I go to the list of participants, my name's not even on there, so I don't know what that's about.
I don't know.
Sorry
it
to
says
interrupt.
You're on as
Trevor.
Trevor.
You're
Trevor
on
Grist.
Yeah, you're on.
Why am I on as Trevor? Oh, because you know why? It was his email that I used to get in here.
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh,
But you
okay.
can go in here under participants and change your name. Can I
Right,
change
okay.
my name?
Okay,
It's
keep
not
selling for me,
allowing you.
Rebecca.
What's that?
I said, keep selling for me.
Ha,
right,
very
guys.
funny. How'd your
All
thing
right.
go?
All right.
Is it good?
Let's just say it was a blast from the past. This is a mechanical garage built in the 60s. There's
Oh,
cars
geez.
everywhere. There's two very outdated homes filled with junk all on one property. So this one's gonna break me in the hard way.
It's gonna be fun. All right, guys, well, go do your thing, make your calls, focus on your one thing, get your goals in, do your big rocks, stay off your email. Any thoughts, Roger? Take us out.
Well said. You know what? Just keep plugging away at it. Lead generation, make phone calls, create the list of a work list for you to do tomorrow, tonight, or today, and then start tomorrow. Tomorrow's the first day, the beginning of the rest of your life. So
Oh, geez.
take control.
All right, good job. Thank you, Amy. Any last words from Amy? Coach Amy?
No, just go get it, guys, and yeah, just do your big rocks. That's really it.
That's it. All right, guys, we'll let you go. Have a great day. If
Bye.
you need anything, you know where to find us.
guys so
Thanks.
much.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Deb.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, Amy.
Thank you, Amy and Roger.
You're welcome.